up, Woodward? We are starting off your day with a brand new crew. Meet Broder.
I can't control my arms sometimes. My limbs are just kind of flying.
Detroit Kool-Aid.
Fired up!
Y'all got Kool-Aid
I'm fired up! But with the Wake Up Woodward crew, he's actually a part of the family.
Flannel Sam.
Ask me about my wiener! Okay.
Along with JB and KG. Wake Up Woodward gets you all of your Detroit sports talk. Every morning, 8 to 10 a.m. Live on Woodward Sports. A show for Detroit, by Detroit, with people from Detroit. Tell Siri to set an alarm, because it's time to Wake Up Woodward.
What up, though, people? Hey, it's Wake Up Woodward, and we still need to wake up. We see the sun is shining right behind us, and soon there will be light. But it is your boy Brandon, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network. That right there, Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad, the vet of the network, man. Hey, Red Wings correspondent, all things sports knower. What up, though, brother?
Hey, let there be light. I was about to start quoting, the Flyleaf song in the dark, Crawling in the Dark, Cuba Steak. There's plenty more. It's Dark by Palisades. There are many variations on the, but you know what? KG blessed us with light. So, shout out.
Bro. Let's rock. Hey, it's Wake Up Woodward. And you guys already know, chat family, you guys are the most important part of this whole WUW Crew thing. So, go on ahead and smash that like button to support us. Let's run up the likes on a Friday show. Because it's a whole bunch of lions, baby. Shout out to Ryan Ermanni on the docket today. And a little bit of Michigan football as well. We got to make sure we preview the weekend, especially if JB Smooth has anything to say about his Spartans. But shout out to that dude, Justin, our brother Matthew Broder. We got intern Chase in the building. What up, though, brother?
Hey, good morning. What's up, everybody? Hope you guys got a fill of candy last night. Had a good one. Hope you guys are having a good morning today, too. So,
thank you again for the Blues Clues, the mailbag song. I'm hoping that the chat was happy with that, man. So go on ahead and throw another like on there, man. Share this thing if you've already hit the like button for Chase, who participated yesterday on the show.
The only participant, the only one who dressed up for Halloween,
That's fair.
I think Spenny dressed up as a coach, but not really anyone else, throughout any of the shows was sporting the holiday spirit.
Pistons fan gear? Come on, man. Shout out to Detroit's number one draft pick, KG, in the sound booth. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what up, though? I did dress up yesterday. I was a black man in America. So, but no, shout out to Chase, man. Hey, if you got them Reese's, bro, you need to bring them in. He said Reese's is the worst Halloween candy.
Reese's?
I don't like
Yes.
peanut butter.
What?
I don't like peanut butter.
Dog, check
Bro.
your mans. Get your mans, bro.
I'm a great person to trade with. Like, I don't like peanut butter, so like.
Trade. I thought it was just throw him on a free ski.
Yeah.
I like Chase, dog. I like the economy of Chase. Shout out to WUW Sports MVP, JB Smooth, in the titty booth on a Friday. What up, though, brother?
Hey, what's
And they're
up?
pressing
What's
all
going
over
on,
those
folks?
TD things.
Yeah, I'm doing all the TD things over here. I was just trying to get stuff all straight. Chase, I got your back, man. Don't worry. I'm not a fan of peanut butter either. So, yeah, Reese's at the top of my list. I do not care for.
Wow.
I threw it on the ground.
Don't let me down.
It's my favorite candy.
There it is.
So
Okay.
There it is.
I like the Butterfingers as well.
that
was fifth on my list.
I
yeah.
saw your list.
Yeah.
Hey, I love it, man. I love it. Candy corn, though? Is candy corn still down?
I like
Yes.
candy corn.
Candy corn.
It's the worst shit ever made.
Yeah,
I like
it's
candy
What are we
worse.
talking about?
What are we talking about?
Yeah.
What about you, man?
Candy corn isn't as bad as Neil Rule makes it out to be. I'm not saying that I love it, but like he judges your character as if you like candy
I thought
corn or
you
not.
and Neil had real beef until I saw Neil and candy corn. That was
It's
real
something
beef.
else, man.
Yeah.
It's something else. But
Doesn't
hey,
let people have their own opinions, you know?
Or you can't be a fan around him. That's another story.
good
Shout
morning,
out Neil.
Good morning,
He's-
good
That's
morning,
like-
Neil.
One of a kind.
Neil, my dog, man.
Hey, but you know what? We told the people what we were discussing today. So let's jump into this game last night.
Yes.
I don't even know. I don't even know where to begin. I don't have no idea where to begin. I'm so ready to just bury the Jets, man. And they just don't want to let me do that just yet. Let's talk about this game.
All right,
Flannel
well,
Sam.
I joked in the prep, are they back? Certainly they're not back. They're not back before.
No.
Put your pitchforks down, stop typing, they're not back. However, I got more pleasure out of that game than I had any right to have, because I knew what would happen if they would have lost. I knew I'd be hearing from KG. I knew I'd be hearing from Neil Rule on Big D Energy. And for the record,
you knew I'd be in here just tap dancing away.
And for the record, the Jets, for the way that their season has gone, still have every right to be clowned. They're 3-6. They let some games slip away, which they should not have. But last night, I think we can all agree on this. Garrett Wilson played as good of a game at the wide receiver position as you're going to see all year. 2 one-handed touchdown catches, including one in the back of the end zone, which was OBJ-esque. Unbelievable game from him.
Some are saying it's better than.
I disagree with that, but it's we're seeing it on the TV right now. It was an unbelievable play.
That was still questionable,
logo,
man.
bro.
No, JB, I get it. I get it.
Especially after the double tap of the 1 foot. This one was still the same leg, but they're saying it was a foot and a shin.
It's foot and a shin, yeah.
When they start counting shins.
Shin. What are we talking about?
Shin.
I don't know, man. Sometimes it feels like the NFL is going week by week. Like, you know what? This is just the way we interpret it this week.
But you know what? You can't. If there's any doubt, you got to call that one good. It was such a great catch, man.
Yeah,
and I know.
OBJ part 2.
Hey, more or less, yeah. It was absolutely amazing. Garrett Wilson played great, and Breece Hall is continuing his comeback. I know there was a time before the season where Neil Rule tried to paint him as if Trent Richardson and Satan had a baby, but newsflash, Breece Hall is actually really damn good.
Hey, chat family, let me know what you think. Was that a catch to you or not? Especially given the controversy of the other, like, foot, tap. JB Smooth, you're firm on this, that it was not a catch.
Dude, because as you said, the NFL is just making up stuff week to week. So it's just like, all right, is this going to be ruled a touchdown? Is this going to be ruled a catch? And I don't know. Now we're counting shins as another extra body part as well, too. He got 1 foot down. I'll give him credit for that. But the knee is out in the back of the end zone. And I'm like, all right, dude, no touchdown. And just to think, like, I was thinking, like, the Jets' night just got a lot worse. Because the first touchdown that we didn't even talk about from Corley, when he just lets the ball go crossing the goal line. Oh, my God. Such an idiot, bro.
Malachi Corley is... I actually thought that he would be good for this Jets team. He can't get on the field.
Yeah.
And then when he actually makes his first great play, I mean, it was on an end around, which was blocked beautifully. He had no choice but to score. He found a way not to by dropping the ball before he crossed the goal line. That's how do people still do this?
I don't understand.
It's unbelievable.
No.
Bro, it's 2024. What are we doing? It's so close to 2025.
We've seen so many circumstances. Like, it all started with Deshaun Jackson, where people have done it and they get absolutely clowned for it.
Yep.
And people just don't learn. It's unbelievable. Just cross the damn goal line first. Have a touchdown celebration which involves you maybe spiking the ball. How about that?
Or have
at least
your
you'll get
touchdown
in.
celebration be you running back out of the end zone and then dropping it before the goal line. If that's what you really want to put on tape, just score the touchdown first.
That is
I
unbelievable.
don't understand what's still happening, but obviously when you see these types of catches, especially with the double foot tap one, my mind always goes back to Calvin Johnson and how the heck does 1 foot, 1 shin, 1 knee, 1 butt cheek, and a roll over. How is that not a touchdown to this day? It's just like the NFL, on and on and on. It's like, you know how McDonald's, they say like a billion served? It's like the NFL is just a billion days in a row of just reinterpreting whatever rule they want, however they want to.
It is unbelievable because if you want to call that Garrett Wilson catch a non-catch, I can't even be mad at you. It was questionable, but I personally am glad that they let it stand because I wanted the Jets to win, and it's just such a great catch, man.
But I do got to ask you this. What did the Jets kind of expose of the Texans that the Detroit Lions can use? Because there's now been a couple games this year. At the beginning of the season, I think we all believe this is an absolute Titan heavyweight match. But I've seen some things from the Texans, and I want to be able to get you guys' perspective on what you guys might see that can help the Lions in their later matchup.
I mean, I think the Texans' offensive line is kind of suspect.
Yeah,
I mean, C.J. Stroud was getting pounded out there.
8 sacks.
And you can say, too, that C.J. Stroud might be regressing a little bit, but I don't even necessarily agree. And also, the Texans are going to have to play the rest of the season without Stephon Diggs, who really was one of their prime offseason acquisitions. So this Texans game is looking a little bit less formidable, I will just say that. I'm not saying you shouldn't take them seriously, and I'm not saying that the Texans probably won't be favored because they're home, but the Texans aren't that juggernaut that maybe they were expected to be before the season.
Bringing up Diggs, and I understand the caliber of wide receiver he is upper echelon, right?
Yeah.
I get that. But it does amaze me that we're looking at their season much differently. But everyone's looking at the Detroit Lions, despite the losses that they've had. Great, and some not as great, but still impactful. And people are like, well, this team is still expected to go to the Super Bowl, both locally and nationally. And I do believe that is a testament to what Brad Holmes said about building for longevity. Now, you can only sustain so many injuries. Who knows if they will truly be able to sustain the Aiden Hutchinson injury, but we do know that they are set up to be able to do something to help themselves along in that quest. And up to this point, we've seen that Jameson Williams, did he play a big role to start the season? Yes, he did. He's not here. Do you see the offense stuttering at all? Do you see them staggering? They do not care. The defense, we thought, hey, let's see what they're going to do. We obviously don't they need that pass rush, but we've seen guys step up to the play levels of elite like Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph. And it's just, it's amazing to see, like I said, as a fan of a team with these types of expectations and seeing it done the right way in a city where really a lot of our GMs, we've been wondering, hey, when are they going to start doing it the right way? It's amazing to see.
Absolutely. And to be fair, really quick to CJ Stroud, because I don't think he's regressing. Nico Collins also didn't play either last night. So you were playing last night without Nico Collins or Stephon Diggs. Probably the only time you're going to get them when they're both out, because I think Nico Collins is actually returning against the Lions. And us Michigan fans, we know all about Nico Collins. And before he was out, he was leading the NFL in receiving yards. So last night, it was literally Tank Dell and then nobody. I think Tank Dell accounted for damn near 80% of the catches last night, and that's not a misprint. It was just only Tank Dell. So CJ Stroud's fine. He just had no help last night. He did get a running game, but offensive line left him exposed, and he was missing his two best receivers.
But Nico Collins there, how do you feel about that? Like, I know we're going to preview obviously Detroit Lions and Packers, but we get a good opportunity right now to talk about this kind of soon coming future opponent. How do you feel? Is that confidence better or worse right now? Obviously, both teams with some losses, though.
Having Nico Collins there is always going to be better for the Texans. Yeah. So I'm not going to say that I'm going to pick the Texans. That's a story for another day. But I'm never going to be like, it's the same whether he's there or not. Because Nico Collins was playing like at an elite level. And he had 1,000 yards last year.
Oh, no. Yeah. Not if he's there. I'm just saying if he's there. So let's assume he's going to be there. Seeing where the Texans are now versus what we thought in the beginning, where's your confidence level now heading into that game against the Texans?
I would say that I'd bet Nico Collins to have a good game, but the Lions can still win. As we've seen last year you saw it all the time, and even this year you've seen it. So you're not going to stop somebody like that, but it doesn't always matter. Yeah,
no, it does not always matter. We've seen the Detroit Lions. Last week in the first quarter, we saw a wide receiver get off. It didn't really matter. 52 points. Man. Hey, KG,
what up?
This game last night, man, was there any takeaways from this game for you as it relates to the Texans and the Lions on the verge?
Nah, I mean, the Jets are still a struggling team. I mean, if you watch the first half, it was not pretty. They did get points on the board, but they damn near got booed by their own fans at one point. The Jets, they are still the Jets. But ultimately, I mean, the Texans, they're just inconsistent offensively, and I think that's been the biggest problem. C.J. Stroud, while he's good, he's made a lot of mistakes this year, and he's kept some teams in some games that he probably shouldn't have. And I know he's down his two best receivers, but you still got Tank Dell, you still got Robert Woods. They still got Dalton Schultz, which they don't use. I don't understand that at all. So there's a lot of inconsistencies in this offense, and I do feel like the Lions have a way better chance of winning this game than you originally would have thought earlier in the year.
Yeah. Yep. And I see you in the chat, Randall Smalls. What are we doing looking past the game in hand? Hey, listen, it's about the Lions not looking past the Packers. This was just us talking about the Texans and the Jets and just some things that I take away. When I sit down and look at these games, I'm not just looking at the game for just, hey, it's two football teams. I got Lions on the brain all the time. Sure. And my confidence against them, even without Aiden Hutchinson, it moves up a notch. And not just for that game, but obviously the Packers. We know we got well over an hour worth
I was about
of,
to say,
breakdown.
Rando, stay tuned. I promise. We're going all Lions Packers in the first hour of the show. It's just, I kind of agree with you, Kool-Aid. When you see the Texans last night, when you see them lose to the Jets, despite the Jets having an absolutely morbid first half, they looked a little vulnerable. It looks like they're going to get a pretty nice reinforcement in Nico Collins, but still, the Texans is one of those games, and I'm not looking ahead, I promise. Trust me, we'll get to the Packers, to where before the season, if you predicted that to be a loss, you can't even be mad because it's like Texans are really good, they're up and coming, but like I said, that Texans O-line, man.
Yep, and that's what I wanted to do, but that's what, and what was the piece in there that I was really trying to highlight is this. When you look at the Texans, a team who was where the Lions were last year, and everybody had high hopes for them coming into this season, now we're looking at them halfway through the season and realizing they might not necessarily be built this year for that type of longevity of success. Still really talented, still really good. They lost a couple players, and now everyone is readjusting their expectations, whereas with the Lions, we can be a little bit more comfortable as we're heading into this trade deadline with the fact that Brad Holmes has this team right now sustaining things. People are mixed. Like, hey, if they make no move, I think they can still get to the Super Bowl. Because realistically, decent defense with an elite offense, that can get you there. And that's what I wanted to really more or less highlight. And so to be more direct, I like what the Lions are doing. And as a fan of a team with these expectations, it's starting to get to the point now where I'm just like, you know what? Let Brad cook. And really meaning that. Not just as a phrase, but feeling that in my heart. Like, whatever he chooses to do, that's what it is. Because look what this team is doing right now versus all the other squads that came into this season with expectations, and they're fumbling it.
Do you know another team that the Lions are going to have to play down some of their best players? The Green Bay Packers. Let's talk about it when we get back. But first, tell us about second best.
Hey, I will. You guys already know where the best party is for every Detroit Lions home game, right?
Talk about it.
Say it for me, man. It is Detroit's very own second best bar. Located on 42 Watson Street in the heart of downtown Detroit, in the heart of the action. You're going to have Neil Rule there, Sean Belegian. Chase is always November 1st. Chase is in the building. Shout out to you, man. Chase is in the building always. Hey, other Woodward sports personalities are in the building. Fans are there. The food is there. You get to enjoy some smooth Tullamore Dew Irish whiskey while you catch the Woodward Sports pregame show. Only at Second Best Bar. Come get some.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go!
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? You expand and offer more products to more people. This is exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick GMC. The same great service that customers have come to know and trust on Woodward Avenue just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today at lesstanford.com. Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive.
Hey, let's drive right down the legendary Woodward Avenue. And it's awesome to have all 4 pro sports teams there. They've had them all active in the month of October. And it was a beautiful thing with the Tigers peaking with the ALDS. But right now we got to talk about these Detroit Lions. They are in a first place game with the Green Bay Packers. And last year, the house of horrors that was Lambeau Field, the Detroit Lions and the fans Shout out to Detroit. Took over Lambeau.
They did.
Game, pregame, game, and postgame. And actually, let me be fair. There were days in advance of the game that there was video getting all out on social media of Detroit Lions fans in the hotels. Just singing the fight song, the pride song, the touchdown song. They were outside of where some of the Packers would stay before the game, making sure to keep them up all night. Why? Because the Detroit Lions are on top right now. That's why. And I do believe that this is one of those games that's going to prove the same. I don't care who's at quarterback. I don't care if it's Jordan Love. I don't care if it's Willis. I believe in what AG has done with this defense to be able to come up with a game plan to be able to keep them in check. And this is the question here, man. It's kind of a backhanded one. Do the Packers have enough stars to hang with the Lions? Because I can start rattling off a list of Detroit Lions players who I know are going to do work in this game. Sure. Like Goff, like Amon-Ra, like Laporta, like Panay. I can, like Kirby, like Brian Branch, and we can go down the list. I believe those linebackers are going to absolutely have a day. So I'm going to ask you, man, do you believe they have enough to be able to hang with the Detroit Lions?
Believe it or not, that wasn't a backhand. I didn't intend that to be backhanded. The reason that I asked that question, do the Packers have enough star players to hang with the Lions, is because last season the Lions had 5 All-Pros, the Packers had 1, Keyshawn Nixon, their kick returner. And coming into this year, I thought that could potentially be what hurts the Packers most. I mean, you know that they had a really good group of wide receivers, but was any of them going to emerge into a true number one? The Josh Jacobs move, he was coming off of his worst season last year. I knew that Xavier McKinney was going to work. I said that was one of the best moves all season, and we've seen how that works out. But the point of all of this is that the Packers, they have, to me, at least beat some of those allegations, because Jayden Reed has turned into, in my opinion, the Packers' true number 1 wide receiver.
I was gonna say he deserves some attention.
Absolutely. Both with what he's done catching the ball, and he's also one of the most used receivers in a running game. He's gotten a lot of end arounds, made some big plays off of that as well. Josh Jacobs has had himself a renaissance. You got to give him credit for that. He led the NFL in rushing, I believe, 2 years ago. Last year had a really bad year, and this season he's giving more credence to the fact that maybe last year was more the Raiders than Josh Jacobs, and that he does have something left in the tank. And Xavier McKinney leads the whole, NFL in interceptions. So Brian Gutekunst made 2 of the most impactful moves of the offseason when it comes to free agents, with Josh Jacobs and Xavier McKinney. So I think right now the Packers have legitimately 3 star players. And the question that I want to pose to the room, out of all of those guys, Jayden Reed, Josh Jacobs, and Xavier McKinney, which one do you think can hurt the Lions the most?
Jayden Reed is an interesting one for me, simply because of what wide receivers have been able to do to us last year, and we've seen at least what happened last week. So that's the interesting one to me. If he can move the chains, if he can make something happen in the red zone, is where I get a little bit more concerned. If that passing game is going, that's where I believe the Packers can beat us. When I think about the game where they beat us in, Jordan Love, what were the commentators talking about? The arm slots, the angles, the passes in the run, on the move, and things of that nature. So I believe if you keep the passing game in check, if Jayden Reed does not have a day, then I believe the Detroit Lions are giving themselves a great chance to win that game.
That's fair. KG, which one of the Packers star players do you think can hurt the Lions the most?
You got to say Jayden Reed, because Xavier McKinney, while he's good, I trust Jared Goff's ability to try to avoid, throwing the ball to the other team. He's on a great pace right now as far as completion percentage goes. Not really worried about Josh Jacobs. I know he's having a good year as well, but the Lions are a top 5 rush defense. Like, with or without Aiden Hutchinson, we've still been able to hold up pretty well against the run. Jayden Reed is somebody you have to worry about. Like Sam said, he's emerged as their true number 1 receiver. He's had some great games this year, and you got to know that they're going to be trying to target Terrion Arnold. That seems to be a game plan for most teams going against us on the offensive side of the ball. Single out Terrion and hope that he gets flagged, hope that you can beat him in coverage. And, I really do feel like if you can limit Jayden Reed, then you have a very, very good chance of winning this game, because who else is Jordan Love really going to go to? I mean, Dontayvion Wicks, not really, hasn't been all that. Romeo Doubs hasn't really been all that. So, and not really, I haven't even thought about Christian Watson like that. So, besides Jayden Reed and the tight end, I think they have a good chance to win this game if they stop him.
Chase?
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the same theme and go with Jayden Reed, just kind of adding to what Kool-Aid and KG have already said about his ability to pass catching. I'm picking him over Josh Jacobs because Jaden Reed has also shown that ability as a runner as well, getting some end arounds and stuff. So I think Matt LaFleur has been creative in getting the ball to him in space, and I'm worried about his more of his speed and agility than I am with Josh Jacobs. And
you mentioned it, man. Matt LaFleur, he's using his spectacular athlete in a multitude of ways.
That's what I was saying. Like, even in the red zone, we know that the Detroit Lions have been very successful with keeping teams out of the red zone for now 3 years. But that's one thing where, like, if you got to tip your cap to LaFleur, one thing I'm probably doing if I get to like the 19, the 17, the 15, I'm looking for Jaden Reed because, like Chase just said, that speed and space. And that's one thing that KG brought up, that another thing, their ability to try and get flags. Jaden Reed is one of those types of receivers that can draw some flags. It's like those two things, they concern me. Like, whatever LaFleur will scheme up for him within the red zone, because like you said, the running, I don't know how you believe you're going to line up and your game plan is, hey, we're going to punch you in the mouth, Lions, in the red zone. Nobody does that, and I don't believe that they are necessarily equipped to do that. So, good points.
JB, I want to get your take on this as well before I give mine.
It got to be Jaden Reed 100%. If you limit him, shout out to my Spartan dog as well, too. I see you, bro. Ooh. But, yeah, he's Love's main target. I mean, who else on this team is Love going to go to? I know somehow, some way you're going to see some little dink and dunks off the Tucker Craft here and there that might hurt you for a couple yards. But other than that, I'm not scared of Josh Jacobs. I'm not scared of any of these other receivers on this team either. So if you can contain Jaden Reed, you should have a good game and a good, easy win.
Interesting. I am going to disagree with all of you, and I like your guys' points because Jaden Reed, I expect him to make some plays.
I feel like I know who you're going to
I
say.
do.
I can't wait.
I'm going to go with Xavier McKinney on this one because let me give you my reasoning. The Lions have allowed a 100-yard receiver 4 times this year and are 3-1. And that's for Jaden Reed. The Lions have allowed a running back to have 80-plus yards 3 times, and the Lions are 3-0 in those games. However, what is the one way in which you think the Lions could be vulnerable in this game, and maybe no matter who they play, if Jared Goff doesn't play clean? Yep. And I'll tell you what, Jared Goff, he can, we trust him, obviously, especially how he's played lately. But Xavier McKinney is that special type of ball hawk to where he can make interceptions happen, kind of like Brian Branch did with CeeDee Lamb and with Jordan Addison. So to me, Xavier McKinney is the one that can wreck everything. I'm not saying that he will, but he does lead the whole GD NFL in interceptions right now.
I was going to say that too, like just kind of looking at some of the Packers' defensive stats. That is something that we got to pay a little bit more attention to because they average 3.5 takeaways a game.
Yeah.
You know, that's in the Lions, we've seen them. If they're going to win a game, if they're going to play their game, it's clean football. When they start to get sloppy, if Goff is turning it over, if the running backs are making uncharacteristic fumbles and turnovers, that's a problem. And the Packers are not just one of those lucky teams. They're going after it. They're getting it. Like you talked about, ball hawks, guys that are going and punching it out, just like Amik Robertson, just like when we see Kirby Joseph. There were people last year who were trying to tell me he was getting lucky, like other fans and all that. You can't say that now, especially with the trend. You want to test him in the end zone? Like, that's what I'm glad we did the content yesterday. It's like at your own risk.
Your own risk.
At your own risk, man. Sheesh. And IT Hips had this to say, too. You guys are overrating the Lions' run defense because the last 3 of 4 games, they've let up over 100 yards.
Ooh, and you know what? We touched on it yesterday, that Aiden Hutchinson, both with him as a player and Terrell from FL brought this up, shout out to him, in the way that the Lions have to blitz more without him, has left their run defense not as good as it was before because you did give up over 90 yards to Aaron Jones and you gave up over 90 yards to Tony Pollard. However, the Lions still won, and they won the Titans game comfortably. My point with Xavier McKinney is he's the one player that I think, besides, of course, if they can get a pass rush on Jared Goff, but he's the one, Xavier McKinney, who I could actually see wrecking everything. I'm not saying he will. Yeah. Jared Goff is a very smart quarterback and has played as clean as can be lately, but Xavier McKinney is special.
Yeah, and another underrated thing I'm going to be looking at, because obviously this is an outdoor game, but I'm going to be looking at the quarterback hits on Jared Goff as well. We know that he's gotten a little bit more dinged up over the last couple weeks, and when he is kind of under that type of stress, a little bit banged up. We've seen him have some of his less clean games. So I'm hoping that not just keeping the sack count low, but making sure that Jared Goff has a clean game as it relates to quarterback hits as well.
Absolutely. And speaking of the run game, got a certain angle that I want to discuss with it when we come back. But first, what do we got?
Some dispo.
Dispo, my bad. My traffic sheet got kind of mixed in with the rest of my papers.
Get it together, Sam.
I know, to take it behind the third wall, as they say. But Dispo, it is the best place to go for all of your cannabis needs, whether it's reefer, bud, marijuana, Mary Jane, whatever you want to call it. Dispo is there for you. Devil's lettuce, Kush. God, I sounded dorky saying that. But you can win free bud for a year when you go to Dispo. I know that
Chronic.
Chronic, absolutely. And you can register today by scanning the QR code above my screen. Dispo, your local cannabis plug, must be 21 or older.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network. Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer. It's bear hunting season, and Dan Campbell is hungry for some kneecaps.
If you can just get a hold of them and you start dragging their ass out to the deep, dark abyss, you can drown them.
The Kings of the North are back for another year of the brand new Lions. Make sure you're locked in to Detroit's #1 sports network for all the news and info on your Detroit Lions.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, it's wicked awesome.
The Tangerine Space Machine. It's that easy drinking IPA that is out of this world flavor. Smooth and juicy with refreshing crushability. Take your taste buds to the moon with Tangerine Space Machine. Grab yourself a can of this intergalactic haze of goodness. This is the official beer of outer space. I don't know if you guys know this, but they know about this on the moon. I'm telling you guys. Brewed locally from New Holland Brewing Company, straight out of Holland, Michigan. Go and grab yourself a can of this, especially for this weekend too. But then you know what? Drink this after you hit Planet Fitness.
After you hit Planet Fitness, of course. It's fitness that fits your budget. No matter where you are, there's a Planet Fitness close by. There are more than 50 in Metro Detroit and thousands more throughout the world. At Planet Fitness, you'll experience a squeaky clean gym that has tons of equipment, friendly, knowledgeable staff, and a totally judgment-free atmosphere. Did you know that all Planet Fitness memberships include fitness training for no extra cost? Want all the perks? Upgrade to the PF Black Card and enjoy use of amenities such as unlimited use of the Black Card Spa featuring hydro massage, massage chairs, and total body enhancement, and more, along with access to over 2,500 locations worldwide and unlimited guest privileges. For more information or to join today, visit your local Planet Fitness or planetfitness.com.
Hey, what up, though, people? And we are back. We are previewing Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers, the Week 8 matchup. This one is for first place in the NFC North. This is the team that everybody said, hey, you know what? This is a squad that we believe that there's someone that can knock off the Lions in the North or in the NFC in totality, that the Green Bay Packers are one of those squads ready to be on the rise. And Jordan Love, LaFleur, Jaden Reed, improvements on the defensive side and on offensive side of those lines were big reasons why people thought that the Packers were ready to finally take this jump. And as we've seen this season already take off, the Detroit Lions running back field between Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery has been more than a weapon. I don't know how you even scheme. You can be in the right positions to stop them. And if it's Jahmyr Gibbs, you're going to lose your jockstrap because he's going to shake you off the field. And if it's David Montgomery, he's punching you in the face. That's the Sonic. That's the Knuckles.
Yes.
It's such a perfect. You can think of a better, hey, what's your superhero? Yeah. It fits them perfectly. But the Packers only let up about 110 yards per game rushing total.
Yes.
Is this something that the Detroit Lions have to be concerned about at all, or do you foresee that Ben Johnson and these running backs are still going to have a day?
Well, first, I'd like to say that, the Packers, they had some weaknesses last year. I thought the first one was they didn't have any stars. They went out and got a couple. They developed Jaden Reed. That's good on them. And they also, in the last two seasons with their defensive coordinator, Joe Barry, probably the biggest weakness on their entire team was run defense. They couldn't stop anybody. In 2022, they were bottom 5, and in 2023, they were bottom 7. However, this year, they are top 10 in rushing yards allowed per game with their new defensive coordinator, Jeff Hafley. And you got to give them credit for that. However, the Lions' offense has the advantage over the Packers' defense. It's something to be mindful of, but I have no doubts whatsoever that the Lions are going to run the ball down the Packers' throats because they do it to literally everybody because they have the best running back duo in the NFL and they have the best offensive line in the NFL. And also, the Lions literally have not had an rushing game all season. The only one where there were some question marks is because, and that was the one game they lost, it wasn't about their effectiveness. It was about Ben Johnson went away from it too soon and they passed twice as much as they ran. And Ben Johnson has learned that lesson. And now they're just running the ball down opponents' throats. I mean, Jahmyr Gibbs is coming off of 2 consecutive 100-yard rushing games. In the game at Arizona, David Montgomery had 105 yards. Week 1, Monty, 91. Week 2, Gibbs, 84. Week 4, Gibbs, 78. Yep. And Week 6, Monty, 80. Every game the Lions have ran the ball, and I don't think it's going to be any different against the Packers because I really don't think there are very many defenses in the NFL, maybe 0, that can stop the Lions' run game. And it's not like the Packers are the number 1 run defense. They're the number 10. It's better, but not good enough to stop the Lions' rushing offense.
And it's because you can't stop the Lions' offense. Really,
no,
it's
you
not
can't.
Because that's the thing. If we want to look at the flip side of this thing, because we talk about can you stop the Lions running offense, the reason why you can is because you look at the flip side. People said David Montgomery had a bad rushing game. He had 35, 40 yards on the ground. He had 75 yards for the game and like a touchdown. That's the whole point of this. So you line up, you see them in the backfield. You go, what? All right, protection. We're going to make sure that we load up at the line, put more in the box, and we're going to stop David Montgomery. We're going to stop Jahmyr Gibbs. And then all of a sudden it's a play action, and they just caught a 10-yard, 15-yard pass on you with the yak. That's the thing. So it's just like, how do you line up and say, you know what, we're going to just stop this run game when these guys are going out there and rushing for 100 and catching another 30, 35 yards a game? Both of them. That's the point. Like, I don't know what you do as a Packers defense because this Detroit Lions offense, realistically, they've looked unstoppable, and the only time we've seen them kind of look like they can be contained is when they went away from the play calling that we all knew would have worked. And that happened 2 times this year, right? Against the Rams and then against the Buccaneers. We got the opportunity in overtime, though, to say, you know what? Let's just go run with David Montgomery, and everyone's like, oh, that's right. That's what we do here. Yeah. And then against the Buccaneers, we saw them go a little less with that game plan, went right back to it in the consecutive weeks after, and it's looked like honestly, a hot knife through butter.
That's the fun. I almost forgot about that because it's been so long. In regulation, they didn't even run the ball that well against the Rams, but it wasn't about that. It's the fact that they had an opportunity to get it to overtime, and once it got to overtime, it was just stop playing. It was just David Montgomery. We're gonna run it down your JB.
I'm gonna run right through a motherfucker.
Absolutely. That's what they did in week 1. And we talk about David Montgomery. The last 2 weeks on the ground, I want to emphasize on the ground, were 2 of his least productive as a Lion. Wow. But they were also 2 of Jahmyr Gibbs' most productive as a Lion. So you can maybe stop one of them. You can hope to. However, it's about both of them. They're both going to get 1,000 yards.
Because even in a bad game or a pedestrian game for David Montgomery, you're telling me that whoever's trying to tackle him, you're telling me that they're still not taking that punishment, though?
They are.
If he's getting, 7 to 10 carries still, there's still punishment going on. And what we've seen the Lions be able to do is like a prized boxer, be able to wear their opponent down. And when winning time matters, they've been able to be the more precise team, while the other squad got their players limping off of the field. Literally, the players that they're trying to depend on. And so it's like, I like this approach. So even if you think, hey, he has a bad game, All right, well, he got 70 total yards, and he punched you in the mouth 7 times, and you felt each one of those, as JB likes to say. What is it again, JB?
You run through a motherfucker.
Yes. And notice, I chose my words very carefully. I said least productive, although Minnesota was bad. He fumbled. But it didn't matter, though, because they won it, because Jahmyr Gibbs he picked up his teammate. He picked up his teammate and got 100 yards himself and set his career high for a long rushing attempt and then reset it by getting 70 yards against the Titans. So, this running game for the Lions, I don't care that the Packers' rush defense is improved. Good on them for fixing a hole. It'll help you against a lot of teams. It really will. But against the Lions, I don't think there's much that they can do.
The Lions, I feel like, are wearing out other teams' linebackers, too.
Yeah.
Because they got so many players that can play in the middle of the field and so much responsibility that they place on the defense because Ben Johnson steps to the line and you can realistically call anything. A trick play, a run play, someone in motion, a pass play or whatnot. And I do believe that in a game like this, when you're trying to neutralize a Green Bay Packers defense that has largely had pretty good linebackers, I feel like this is one where you can absolutely have some fun with them. It starts, in my opinion, obviously with a clean Jared Goff, but what these running backs do, I think that this is one where David Montgomery absolutely goes off. I see a lot of people in the chat, they got the same sentiment as well. Vincent E., it's going to be a D-Mont game. I do believe this is one where he goes in there, and it looks like that classic David Montgomery, about 4.7 yards a carry, and he's just punching people in the face. There's a couple big runs, and he's getting a couple touchdowns as well.
I mean, speaking of repeats at Lambeau, we all know how the game went as a whole last year, but David Montgomery, I think he carried the ball 32 times for like 121 or 131, which wasn't his most efficient game in terms of yards per carry. I don't want him carrying it 32 times again, but it's just about wearing down that defense. Having to tackle David Montgomery 32 times, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy, although I kind of do on the Packers, not going to lie.
What week was that? Because I feel like it was relatively early, and it was before Jahmyr Gibbs was Jahmyr Gibbs that we know today as well.
Yes, it was week 4, I believe. But KG?
Yes, sir.
Are you concerned at all with the Packers' run defense? Or are you at least mindful, or is it the Lions, they're just running offenses unstoppable?
Oh, why would I be?
Absolutely.
Yeah, until a team can prove they can stop this shit, we going to keep running it. And especially when you look at how banged up the Packers are, and I was looking at their depth chart, they actually have a lot of players that are questionable, and I'll name the rest of the names later, but you're looking at their interior defensive line, Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt, both questionable. So this game literally favors the Lions' run game. And it's the way the Lions utilize both backs. It's so hard to prepare for. One drive you see in Monty. One drive you see in Gibbs. You think you're going to get Monty again, then you see in Gibbs again. Then you see Monty again. Like, the way they utilize these backs is so hard to game plan for. And if you want to be like, say, the Vikings and sell out for the run completely and run cover 0, we will torch you. Amon-Ra over the top. That's when Laporta gets involved. Like, there's so many weapons to account for on this Lions offense. This is why this run game works so well. And when you have an offensive line that can do literally everything, they can run protect, they can pass protect, they can do whatever they want to on the field, it's going to be a tough day for the Packers defensive line. And they have a lot of talent on that line, don't get me wrong, but it's going to be a long day for them.
And that was kind of more or less the point that I was trying to paint, and I don't paint it probably as good as you guys, but when the Lions run out there, what I really like about their offense is usually, I've seen some versatile Lions teams, but they would have, packages, for lack of a better word. And you would know, okay, if those players are out there, this is what they're going to do. You can't really say that about these Detroit Lions. You really can't. They send out the same set of players, and they could do anything. It could be short yardage. It could be a run play that's designed to get 20 yards. It could be a pick play. They could check into anything. Yeah. And they don't have to worry about running out necessary certain personnel and things of that nature. They just let those guys go out there, pick what they think is going to work. And that's what's awesome, man. To know, like, hey, D-Mont's getting a touchdown throw this game. Like, that's wild to me, man. And that squad, that to me doesn't just show that this team is having fun, but it shows that they have a mastery over what they're doing because they executed it perfectly. For Ben Johnson to say in this type of a game, and in some of the other games as well, this is what we're going to employ, shows to me that this team is just in lockstep right now offensively.
They are. And KG, I'm so glad you alerted me to the questionable players on the Green Bay
it's
Packers?
a lot.
Because this is something that even I overlooked because it's questionable. It's not out. They could very well play.
That still means they're injured, though.
But we're talking about Kenny Clark and Devontae Wyatt. If we're talking about the Packers' run defense, that's their interior. If they're out, and it's not just them, it's Jair Alexander and Evan Williams. Low-key, Jair Alexander has had a bounce-back year. He's played really well. And Evan Williams, maybe the best rookie you haven't heard enough about. This man is in the running for Defensive Rookie of the Year, and he's questionable. If the Packers, if all of those guys are out or if they're even hampered, I kind of think they might be effed. I'm not getting too overconfident, but these are 4 key pieces on the Packers defense, and we all know what this Lions offense can do with or without Jameson Williams. It's an absolute well-oiled machine. So if you're the Packers, you at least want to have all of your enforcements there, and maybe they won't.
And I like having the element of, I know he didn't have like the craziest good game last week, but I do like having the element of Tim Patrick against the Packers this time around. I just do. Whatever role he can play for them, because I know that there's some people like Diz411 who believes in this Packers. He says no, don't, but there's a couple other people in the chat who like the Shaquille O'Neal. Only thing that concerns me is how good the Green Bay secondary is, and I'm glad that you highlighted that as it relates to one of the players that you believe can cause or pose the biggest issues for the Detroit Lions.
About to say, if Xavier McKinney, Jair Alexander, and Evan Williams play, that's a formidable secondary, and I don't blame you, the Shaquille O'Neal, for having some concerns. I already told you that if the Lions were to be vulnerable, it would be primarily because of Xavier McKinney. So I don't blame you for that. It's just at this point, and I get it, they didn't get an edge rusher, so that changes things a little bit.
Jeez.
I'm at the point now where I don't think I could ever not have confidence that they'll win a regular season game. Am I pounding the table saying they're going to win by 15? Not exactly. Am I mindful of the Packers? You know me.
Are they just that good? Or are you reading from the Book of Chase?
You know what? And you know me. I'm always mindful of what teams can do that can beat us. I even was like that with Tennessee, although I didn't think that they would. But I think I really honestly think the only thing that could stop the Lions, and I'm not going to give away my predictions just yet, is 1, no pass rush, and 2, Xavier McKinney just being all-world. That's
that gets me fired up because, like I said, again, we're fans of a team with
Yeah.
Super Bowl expectations, and this is obviously up to this point one of the biggest games of the season. And honestly, the Packers have been a team that, despite the fact that it looked like they should be one of those squads that falls off, they just haven't. They've been able to overcome losses, injuries this entire season. So I don't, I'll take every advantage that we can get. But this organization and this team has proven that they're a little bit more robust than some of the other teams who have lost some players, and it's absolutely kind of changed the fortunes of their season.
Yep. And speaking of things to be mindful about when it comes to the Packers, I have coming up for you what I believe to be potentially the most intriguing matchup of them all. But first, speaking of Lions, I got to tell you about Woodward and Main and the pregame show. Hey, Detroit, on game day, wake up with Woodward and Main, your source for all the insider information on the defending NFC North champions, your Detroit Lions. With insight from Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster and rising star Matt Broder. Get ready, Detroit, every Sunday, 8 to 9 a.m., Woodward and Main. And then, of course, you've got to go to the pregame show starring these two trustworthy, great dudes who were on BDE yesterday, right there.
Michigan to cover. Oh, Lord.
It's the new Holland Brewing Company pregame show. Every Sunday, Neil Rule and Sean Belegian bring you the best Lions pregame show. Sunday, 10 a.m. to noon on Woodward Sports. Live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. And for away games, they do it at the studio.
Oh.
The latest injury reports, fantasy sit and starts, and the inside scoop on your Detroit Lions. They could probably act up like that in the studio. At Second Best, they're probably a little hampered. But join us every Sunday. Home games live at Second Best Bar in Detroit. Your official guide to Lions game day on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. Brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine. To all your local long drinks, Sabbath Coffee, Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey, and Les Stanford Chevrolet.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
game is won in the trenches, and our big fellas don't mess around. The Woodward Heavyweights on Woodward Sports.
You and I pay our bills. Unlike my opponent, Dave Coulter, I won't take advantage of my job because I work for you. I'm Nick Jonai, and by the way, I do pay my water bills on time, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nick Jonai for Oakland County.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Hey, KDK Law, you need excellence on your side, and KDK Law of Birmingham is excellent. Whether you're going through divorce, family issues, or criminal law issues, KDK and Kevin and Catherine have your back. You can go to their website at kdklawoffice.com, scan the QR code above my head, and if you're going through something that is not fun, is going to be somewhat painful in the short term, get excellence on your side, because to get your long-term outlook on life looking great, you need excellence, and KDK Law with Kevin and Catherine is excellent.
If she from Green Bay, divorce that hoe.
That's fair.
What up, though, people? Welcome back. It is Wake Up Woodward. It's your boy Bernadette, K. Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network, Flannel Sam, all ball, sports, everything, no hockey puck, baseball, all that stuff, and future Red Wings correspondent, or current Red Wings correspondent here for Woodward Sports. We're breaking down the Week 8 matchup, the Detroit Lions versus the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau, which used to be a house of horrors until Sheila and the Detroit Lions bought that mug last year. Shout out to the Detroit Lions fans, too.
It ain't been the same since that fateful night in 2022.
Hey, it was
It's not been the same since.
It's been beautiful. Cody Ingle says Branch and Kirby are going to get an INT in this game. And it's pretty timely, because we're talking about right now the Packers wide receivers versus the Lions secondary, or the Packers wide receiver versus the Detroit Lions secondary. We got, because Jaden Reed obviously is going to be the one with a lot of attention, but I do believe that Jordan Love, Malik Willis, whoever it is, LaFleur is going to make sure that he gets the ball spread around the field, as well as goes after whoever Terrion Arnold is defending.
And all right, so obviously we know Jaden Reed is number one. And with all due respect, I think you guys are underselling the rest of them just a little bit. Now, I get it. I get it.
Are you afraid of?
Threw a little,
yes.
And not to go at you, but are you afraid that Romeo Dobbs will beat us?
I'm mindful that he could make some plays.
Are you afraid that Christian Watson can beat us?
Christian Watson killed us last year, and I get it. The secondary is different. The secondary is very, very different. But Christian Watson, although he has not had nearly the season that he was expected to have, he's talented.
He is.
He's talented. And Tucker Kraft, low-key, is 8th in the NFL amongst tight ends and receiving yards. Nothing you would have ever expected. But the point is that Jaden Reed's the man. But Romeo Dobbs, Tucker Kraft, and Christian Watson, I think, are somewhat formidable. And Dontavion Wicks is obviously the fifth wheel of that wide receiving core. But the big matchup that I'm looking at personally is Jaden Reed. And I think the person who's going to get most of the Jaden Reed assignment is actually Amik Robertson, because Jaden Reed lines up primarily in the slot. And if you look at where Amik has lined up this season, it's almost all as a slot corner. So it's going to be a tough day for him. I mean, not tough as in like he's going to get burned, as in that's a tough matchup.
It's a tough assignment.
It's smart.
Because like when you're a corner, especially the way that the rules are in the NFL, I actually, if I'm trying to be objective, like Jaden Reed in that matchup, if they're just one-on-one. I think Amik has been one of the more underrated players, but he's been good, not great. But that's Amik Robertson. You didn't expect him to be, because Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch certainly have been great. And as far as the rest of the Packers wide receivers go, I think you're going to be seeing maybe Terrion Arnold on Romeo Doubs, maybe Christian Watson. I actually think that Carlton Davis and Christian Watson is a pretty intriguing matchup. And we all know, no matter how the corners play, which I think for the most part they've been fine, although not great, that safety duo, man, of Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, I agree with Cody Ingle, and we're going to get into that more a little bit later, that it is a prime day for either one of them to maybe catch Xavier McKinney in the interceptions race and get some more numbers on their side for their Defensive Player of the Year cases, which I've had them both in my lists. I mean, Kirby Joseph was this week and Brian Branch was last week. It's a day where I could definitely see one or both of them picking one off.
And I do like I like the assessment of Amik Robertson to defend Jaden Reed. Not that he could ever shut him down, but one thing that I like about Amik Robertson is that he's just tough all the way through. So even if there's a chance, he gives you a chance to get that punch out, to get that turnover, to kind of break up that play. He plays very, very physical. Obviously, we've seen him at times be in a position to where sometimes not being tall enough has cost him. But I do like playing physical up against a player who, the speed and just one quick in and out move, and all of a sudden he's wide open.
Sure.
I prefer having a more physical more physical and a more experienced cornerback on him, and it allows even more so for Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph, in my opinion, to roam.
Sure. And I kind of have a question to pose for the whole room, because I think I maybe think more highly of the guys like Dobbs and Kraft than you guys do in the room, Christian Watson. However, I think we can all agree when it comes to depth, the Packers have 5 guys that on any given day can make some plays. Yeah. Is this a game where the Lions, and I'm mentioning this guy's name for the first time in a long time, will maybe miss Iffy? It's tough, isn't it?
I'm always going to say, we miss Iffy. I want to see him out there with the squad. Sure.
But you got Brian Branch, and he does everything Iffy can do and more.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and that's the thing. It's like I don't want to disrespect Iffy, because we know that he's a difference maker. But we've seen Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph step up to such a level this year, both of them. I thought maybe we have an opportunity to see one of them step up there. They've both stepped up. So it's awesome to see. And Dante151 makes a cool point to Amik Robertson. He said he faced this Packers team last year, and he was locked down. I assume he's saying Jaden Reed was locked down in the Raiders' win over the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if it was necessarily all on Amik, Jaden Reed, because last season Amik kind of played more both wide corner and slot. But yeah, Amik Robertson did have a good game against the Packers last year, and I think that does mean something, especially since over the totality of a season, we don't talk about Amik very often.
By you then.
Yes, we don't talk about Amik very often, but I think that's actually a good thing, because you can talk about Terrion Arnold. Of course, what's his biggest issue? Penalties. Mm-hmm. I think Carlton Davis has been good, but you've seen moments where he's gotten beat, but we've also seen moments where he's been really good. Amik Robertson has just been, for the most part, steady. I'm not saying that he hasn't given up some plays, but he's just been that steady Eddie slot corner, and they're 6-1, and their defense has played well both with Aiden Hutchinson, and they've done enough without him. So, I'm not saying Amik Robertson is going to shut down Jaden Reed. I actually expect a big game out of Jaden Reed, but we've seen this before. Not just last year, this year, whether it's Cooper Kupp, whether it's Chris Godwin, whether it's Calvin Ridley, whether it's DK Metcalf. Someone can go off, and the Lions will still win. Oftentimes, like with Seattle, and certainly last week against Tennessee, comfortably.
Yeah, and shout out to Speakeasy Sports, because I went back to Amik Robertson just because that component of it makes me feel a little bit comfortable without these players. But I'm glad that we talked about the fact that, look, would we love to have Iffy for this game? Yeah. Shout out to Speakeasy Sports in the chat, who's probably feeling a little bit like how you are. He says, I miss Iffy and Emmanuel Mosley in this game.
Well, that speaks to the depth. That speaks to the depth, man. And like I said, I am mindful of the Packers' receiver depth, and certainly Jaden Reed. KG?
And you're right to do that, but like I said last week, we are the better team here. And even from a defensive standpoint, I just want to point out a couple things that I do think will help this DB room. You're looking at some of the injuries that they have. Jordan Love, of course, we all know he's dealing with a groin injury. He's questionable. Josh Jacobs, questionable. Rasheed Walker, which is their left tackle, questionable. Elton Jenkins, which is their left guard, questionable. And their center, Josh Myers, also questionable. And I know our pass rush isn't the best, but if there was a game to where this pass rush can make an impact I think it's this game right here. That whole left side of that offensive line is battling injuries right now. You need to be able to get to Jordan Love and get him on the ground early in this game. That way you can really make a difference and help your DBs, because if you can't get a pass rush and Jordan Love is all day back there, then you're going to have problems. Then he can kill you with his legs. Then he can hit receivers downfield. That's when you're going to have issues with this secondary. So ultimately, if they can get to Jordan Love, they'll be fine. I also want to point out the fact that if Jordan Love plays, he's thrown an interception in every single game he's played this year, at least one. So he is a turnover, I guess, machine, you would say, at this point in the season. So you need to be able to take advantage of that. And who better than Kirby Joseph, who has been an absolute dog, these last few weeks. He's had an interception in practically every game he's played, too. So I think this Lions DB room will be fine. Amik Robertson, I expect him to step up. He's been pretty solid in that slot spot, asides, like you said, things he can't control with his height and a couple blown plays here and there. He's been pretty steady, man. Terrion, he's going to have his work cut out in Amik, but ultimately I feel like they can be fine if they can get to Jordan Love a moderate amount. They don't need to get to him all game, but at least get to him a few times here and there, put him on the ground, and then that'll help the defense.
And you know what, Flannel? We've had some hunches on this show, especially over the last couple weeks. You with the Michigan game, you were like, no. You were pushing back on every narrative from Sparty as well as from Go Blue, who wasn't necessarily confident in this thing. I was like, listen, the Lions are putting up 60 on the Titans. I don't care what anybody thinks of their defensive additions. And I'm hearing you right now, KG. You are very confident. He has been all show. He's been digging. He's been getting stats. He's been getting the depth chart. He's been getting the injury report. And the more that I hear you kind of just put these things out there, and the more that we see, hey, listen, even though we have some losses, our Lions, for some reason, still just hum along at an elite level. The more I'm just like, you know what? Go in there and dominate them in their home again. Go in there and dominate. Because right now what's on the record is the fact that they beat us last. Go in there and shut them up and get prepared for round 2 after that, man.
Absolutely. And you touched on it. Let's talk about Jordan Love in the next segment and whether or not he'll be available, whether or not it'll be Malik Willis. But I think it's an interesting conversation to have because it's the most important position in football. But first, tell us about Lady Jane's.
Hey, I will. You got to walk into any Lady Jane's haircuts for men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy a $20 haircut, a special scalp massage, a hot lather neck shave.
Wait, what'd you say?
What? Nothing about leather. Get out of here. And a hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists.
Nasty.
Take advantage of our $20 haircuts.
Just trying to get a haircut, man.
Just scan the QR code and get your coupon today if you're trying to get their haircut, man. Hey, look, Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. It's wicked awesome.
We are the network for Detroit by Detroiters. Welcome to the Woodward Sports Network.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles, and with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Can't get enough Lions coverage? Make sure you catch all Woodward sports shows every game day. Wake up with Woodward and Maine, giving you the latest insight into the Lions locker room and press conferences. Then join the Lions pregame show, highlighting key matchups, injuries, and what to watch for during the game. Follow all the ups and downs of the live game action with our Woodward Watch Party live on YouTube and woodwardsports.com. After the game, check out the instant fan and host reactions with the Lions postgame show. Every game, it's wall-to-wall, kneecap-biting, high-fiving, chest-pumping Lions coverage.
Hell yeah!
Only at Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports.
Woodward Sports, let's go.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Fuel your Lions fandom and your Detroit sports fandom. And you know what? That Woodward sports fandom with the perfect cup and become a subscriber of Sabbath Coffee Roasters. Whether you're gearing up for a big game or savoring a quiet morning while watching Wake Up Woodward, Sabbath Coffee Roasters has you covered with fresh, locally roasted specialty coffee delivered right to your door, so they're treating you right. Head to www.sabbathcoffeeroasters.com and use code Woodward when you choose your favorite roast to get 25% off your first subscription order. Awake and unwind. Support local and enjoy game day right with Sabbath Coffee Roasters. And you know what, man? Hey, look, we still working through some things, but we're talking about Jordan Love and if the Lions are going to face him, or what it looks like if the Lions have to face Malik Willis. But even though I know we're still working through some things, we might not be able to hear it. We still got to do this for the people, KG. We gotta treat that like button right. We gotta treat it nice.
We treating the like button right?
We got to. It's been so long. I told you, sometimes you can't give them Cheesecake Factory. Sometimes, but sometimes you can give them a little bit more than the biggie bag.
Right.
Today we getting the full chicken meal.
I got a combo for you, girl.
Hey, we got at least a combo. we gonna rock it out, man. As soon as I see them lights going, I'm gonna just say something.
Hey, we can't hear the music right now, but it don't matter. Listen. Pack up your hot leather. Go ahead and head to Lambeau and satisfy that like button while you're on the way there, man. We gonna have some free costs to.
Hey,
baby, let's get it.
Hey, yo.
Satisfy the like button. Hit that like button, y'all. Hey, look, Jordan Love, and obviously the complexity of the game changes just a little bit if it is Malik Willis, Maz's godson. But Jordan Love, obviously, is the quarterback of the Packers that last beat us. And he's making every push to try and play in this game. I'm seeing all the different reports from all the different national reporters that Jordan Love is saying, hey, look, man, I feel like I'm ready to go. You know, so it's going to be interesting to see what happens as we get closer to game time. But Jordan Love, he's still questionable. Does it make a difference to you who starts at QB this weekend for the Packers?
I think it has to. And I'm not saying it's going to be the difference between a win and a loss. It's just, if your primary objective is just win at all cost, I think you'd still rather see Malik Willis. If you want to beat the Packers at their best, you'd rather see Jordan Love. And for the record, I think Jordan Love is going to play.
Yeah.
And to circle back to what Cody Ingle said a segment ago about how Brian Branch and Kirby Joseph are primed for a pick, either one or both of them. Despite only playing 6 games, Jordan Love is tied for first in the NFL in interceptions with 9. However, also despite playing only 6 games, he's tied for third in the NFL in touchdown passes with 15. So Jordan Love is slinging that mofo all around the field, sometimes to the other team. And I think with Jordan Love, the key for him in terms of the Lions limiting Jordan Love, it doesn't have as much to do with the secondary. It has more to do with the pass rush. Because, and this is where I circle back to the last game that the Lions played against the Packers at Ford Field on Thanksgiving. Jordan Love carved us up. It is a much better, new, and improved secondary, and I grant you that, and I think that is going to make a difference. However, what was one of the other reasons why Jordan Love was able to carve the Lions up last year?
His legs.
Well, that too, but do you know how many sacks the Lions got on Jordan Love in last year's game at Ford Field?
What, 1 or 2?
0.
Damn.
0. And as we all know, this is a defense. This is a defensive line. They did not make a trade yet. And Aiden Hutchinson is obviously still out. Marcus Davenport is obviously still out. So I do think this is a game where the Lions defense might be a little bit vulnerable. We saw the Lions, I think, do a good enough job to win 2 games in a row against the Vikings and against the Tennessee Titans. Can we all agree that Jordan Love is better than both Sam Darnold and Mason Rudolph? And I'm not even, I think higher of Sam Darnold than most, but Jordan Love is still better than all of them. So to me, it's all about the pass rush. And another angle that you brought, KG, is the fact that Rasheed Walker is questionable, Elton Jenkins is questionable, Josh Myers is questionable. I don't really care about him. He blows. I think the interior is going to be fine anyway, but Rasheed Walker, man, and Elton Jenkins, those were potentially big losses for the Packers. I'm not saying that they're not going to play, but they're still listed as questionable because their right tackle, Zach Tom, I'm not going to lie, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful, I think he's probably going to have a pretty easy day because he's really good, and the Lions have a patchwork pass rush. Let's just call a spade a spade. But Rasheed Walker, man, To me, that's an interesting one. If Rasheed Walker doesn't play or if he's hampered, that's the guy that maybe you want to target to get some pass rush on because he's good. Rasheed Walker's good, but if he's hampered, that might be the only way you get to the quarterback besides up the middle, of course.
And this is a game where they stood pat. They know exactly what the implications of this game is, and I will say let Brad cook and all that, but if you're going to stand pat, what I'm hoping is that we see some areas of growth and some areas of game planning where you can see, you know what, they've learned from this. They understand now what they need to do scheme-wise and personnel-wise because they stood pat. So I am expecting that AG and Terrell Williams, that they have a much better performance than the one that they had last year. That's what I'm hoping, and that they're able to scheme up and up because you have no Aiden Hutchinson. That is it. That we're never going to understate that. And so this is where I'm really hoping that this is one of those AG games where we say, you know what, Aaron Glenn, have a day. Because that's a very key stat to bring up. The fact that we know this, that Jordan Love, if he does play, people say, well, he has a growing injury, he's not going to be running. Listen, if he's playing, he's going to be so shot up, full of stuff. We got Dispo on the back wall here. That man is going to be able to move around in the pocket. He's going to. And if we're not getting pressure, I don't want to see Jordan Love going to his left, throwing to Jaden Reed across the middle of the field. That's going to be a recipe for disaster, and it's a nightmare, honestly, that's been on repeat since they beat us last doing stuff like that. So, yeah, I'm hoping that Aaron Glenn has this thing schemed up to get the right type of pressure on Jordan Love because we've seen them this year nullify not just good quarterbacks but also mobile quarterbacks, like Murray, by getting pressure on the quarterback and reducing the window of opportunity that they have to make any decision, whether to run or to throw. They've all had a reduction or have had to throw the ball at least a second faster than they normally do. They have to do the same here against the Packers.
Yeah, to be fair against Kyler Murray, there was a certain somebody wearing the jersey of 97 that was available. And I get it. I get what you're saying.
But that's what they have to do something because if they don't in this game, what you're bringing up and what the recipe we've already seen that's on tape and is the last entry in the record between these two teams is that if they don't get pressure, that there is a great opportunity that Jordan Love could do something against this Detroit Lions defense.
Absolutely. And I said in the last segment that this secondary is obviously improved. But just to go back to Jaden Reed versus Amik Robertson, if Amik Robertson has to cover for too many seconds, Jaden Reed is eventually going to get open. So this is a big day for the pass rush. Maybe Aaron Glenn tries some blitzes, which he's been utilizing in the last couple of games. We hope that they can get home from time to time. It's just, to me, that's the one thing that's concerning about Jordan Love being back there, if he's got all day to throw. Because as we said at the beginning, he's slinging that ball to the wrong team more often than you would like. But he's also, the season he's having is like Brett Favre-esque in terms of he's going to throw a lot of touchdowns, but he's also going to put it up for grabs from time to time. But if he has time to throw, he's got time to make better decisions and not have to force anything.
And trust me, I'm not worried about this game. Like when we break it down and we have to discuss the different elements of the game, Jordan Love is going to be one of the ones you have to talk about. And the fact that they did beat us last year in a game where I wasn't worried, should have been more worried then, but the makeup of the game, it just catered a little bit more to where the Packers were. They were playing hot. The Detroit Lions were sustaining injuries, and they had a secondary out there that was just ripe for the picking, and Jordan Love picked them apart, straight up. This one, I don't really foresee that. I just don't foresee that as much. I do believe that not just the secondary, not just the safeties, but I do believe that our cornerbacks are going to step up in this game as well.
Yeah, they also caught us on a short week last year coming into that Thanksgiving game. But they did. They came in and handled business. But and this is why we say the Lions need to get somebody, because it doesn't matter who you got back there in that secondary. If you allow quarterbacks too much time to pass against teams like this and teams that you are going to see as the year draws to an end and in the playoffs, you will get exposed. So they need to go get somebody. But as for right now, the Lions, they need to get pressure on Jordan Love. And I don't mean pressure from just like the sake of pressure. Get him on the ground. Like, and I understand they had 4 sacks last week. That's not bad. I would encourage them to go out there and get at least 6 this week. I know that may be a tall task. That may be a tall task. I understand. But if you go out there and you get at least 6 sacks on him, that ensures that, okay, you have control of this game. Jordan Love's not going to kill you. But The more that he gets to move around in the pocket, move out of the pocket, that's where you're going to run into problems with your secondary, no matter how good they are. So I would just encourage, get him to the ground. Pressures are great. Get this man to the ground, period.
Yeah. And that's why I do also want to make sure they're getting the quarterback hits as well. That plays a role, that plays a factor in this game. We've seen this defense be able to wear quarterbacks down like that in the past. So get them to the ground. I want the sacks, but at least if you get the pressures, be there so close that you can at least get that quarterback hit.
And listen, he's injured, so no matter how they dress it up, he's injured. Not saying exploit the injury, but at the same time, you smell blood in the water, you got to go for it.
No, exploit the injury.
Conscience. You're my conscience.
Oh yeah, I got you.
I was trying to say it so diplomatically, but Weezy D313, because I know we got to get into this next segment, but this it hit Flannel. Kirby Joseph.
Yeah.
You believe he's top 4 in the Defensive Player of the Year race conversation, right?
I do.
All right, and you've given him praises for some time. Brian Branch, you believe that this guy is playing at an all-pro level?
He's top 10 in Defensive Player of the Year rank. It's probably top 7.
Weezy D313. Sorry, this defense can make plays outside of y'all baby daddy Hutch. Sorry, Brad loaded this squad up.
Dude, like, why do you...
Baby daddy Hutch,
Come on.
Whoa, who is that?
That's... If you think that it's not concerning with him being out, add you to the Rando Smalls thing that has this weird fetish about Brad Holmes not doing anything so you can get one over on me. And that's fine. That's fine. I hope that no matter what happens with Brad Holmes, that whether he makes a move or not, that the Lions can win. It's just Weezy D313. Do you really think this defense is the same without him? Has it looked the same without him in the last couple of weeks? They won, and I'm not saying they can't win this week, but yeah, just look yourself in the mirror and answer that question.
And I'm looking to Matty B says, Weezy D313, we need edge rushers anyways, bro. Terrell FL, no edge, no chip.
I don't necessarily disagree with that. I don't want to put that energy out there yet, but because Brad Holmes could make a move still. But Terrell, I can't.
Brad cook whatever he does.
I cannot be mad at that statement. I can't. I'm not even gonna try, because Terrell from FL, on paper, I would tend to agree with you. But there's another game happening in the state of Michigan.
Oh, there is?
Although this one is actually happening in Michigan at the Big House, and that is Michigan-Oregon. And we're going to preview that game when we come back. But first, JB, tell us about Caesars.
Oh, I got you. I definitely got to tell you about Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports. Scan this QR code on screen. Use code Woodward1000. Deposit up to $1,000, and all you have to do is place a minimum of a $20 bet. And if that bet doesn't hit, you know what? They will put it right back into your account with no questions asked. So it's basically like you're getting your money for free. Once again, scan the QR code on screen. Use code word Woodward1000. It's Caesars Sportsbook, the official sportsbook of us here at Woodward Sports.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Walk into any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men today. Open 7 days a week. Sit back, relax, and enjoy precision haircut, scalp massage, hot leather neck shave, and hot towel treatment from one of our talented stylists. Step up your game this season and take advantage of our $20 haircut special. Scan the QR code and get your coupon today. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, the ultimate haircut experience. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins always welcome. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
You and I pay our bills. Unlike my opponent, Dave Coulter, I won't take advantage of my job because I work for you. I'm Nick Jonai, and by the way, I do pay my water bills on time, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nick Jonai for Oakland County.
1800 Tequila, official tequila of Woodward Sports, Lions watch parties and post-game show. Join 1800 Tequila and Woodward Sports every Lions game live at Hayes Social in Shelby Township and celebrate the wins with smooth 1800 Tequila, proud sponsor of your Detroit Lions. 1800 Tequila, the best taste in tequila. Drink responsibly.
Hey, and we are back. What up, though, people? It's Wake Up Woodward. just talked Detroit Lions versus Green Bay Packers. We still got more Lions and Packers on the way to give our final score predictions, but we got to talk. We got to talk about this Michigan game versus Oregon this weekend. And there's a lot of people who believe Michigan is about to get boat raced. Absolutely smacked this weekend, Flannel.
Factual.
But you have something that you prepared for us as it relates to this game.
I do. And JB, I actually don't want you to throw up what I made because we are doing this in a Swisher break style, where I'm just going to ask some questions and or give some keys, and I want to see if everybody else in the room and you guys in the chat agree with these.
You know what? Just throw the Swisher break graphic up there too.
Hey, absolutely.
Let's go, Flannel.
Go Blue Keys, I guess, if I were going to call it something. So, I have I've got 5 keys to victory for the Michigan Wolverines, and I want you guys to all say if you agree or disagree and elaborate if you feel so inclined. Number 1, the health of Will Johnson.
Will Johnson. Is he confirmed he's playing this weekend?
I don't know. In college, they hold it close to the vest. He's listed as active, but he didn't play last week, and he went out in the game before.
I feel like if you're going to win against Oregon at all, you got to have Will Johnson in the game. He's your opportunistic guy. We've seen them win big games, and in those games, we've seen what's one of those recipes? Will Johnson putting on the buffs, the turnover buffs.
Picking the natty, pick against Ohio State, Even
though we just saw them win without him, I don't know how you win again against a caliber of team like Oregon.
I don't think you do. If he's not out there, your chances of winning are severely dropped. And that's no offense to Jair Hill, Zeke Berry. They had a better game.
No offense.
They looked better last week, but ultimately they have not been good this year. Will Johnson is your best bet as far as the secondary goes. So you got to hope that he plays in this game because Dylan Gabriel is slinging it at this point in the season, and you don't want him to go get hot with those receivers.
JB?
I definitely have to agree that if Will Johnson is not out there, your chances of winning are very slim. This Oregon Duck team is basically a complete team. Their skill position, especially given Dylan Gabriel as well, too, as KG said, he's out there slinging this rock, and he is a Heisman Trophy candidate for a reason. So he's not out there. I don't think Michigan has that great of a chance of beating Oregon.
JB, I agree with you 100%. You're not going to see too many wide receiver duos quite like Tez Johnson and Evan Stewart. And you know who's throwing on the ball? Dylan Gabriel, who's a Heisman candidate. So Will Johnson swings things drastically for me as well. I think they have damn near a 0% chance to win if he's out.
Yeah.
If. But second key, NFL talent doing NFL talent things. Talking about Michigan's players.
Ooh. Yeah, you absolutely need it. Absolutely need it. From several different places across the thing, especially Loveland. When you talk about Davis Warren settling into this quarterback position, being given the vote of confidence, it's no longer really a competition, and that they've shown a little bit more mastery over what they're going to do with this quarterback room, utilizing Alex Orji when they do, and hopefully they can even variate that even more. Like we were talking about before, KG, I'm hoping he can hit Loveland for 5 or 7 yards on a well-designed play where the defense is drawn in because they think he's going to run, and then boom, they can hit a Loveland across the middle. So I'm hoping that Loveland has a big game as well as some of these other high-profile names for the Michigan Wolverines.
Yeah, gotta have it, man. Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham, you hope that they have a dominant game on that front four. Hopefully Wink Martindale doesn't do anything stupid to muck it up, but you need them to perform. Also, Josiah Stewart, I think he's having an underrated season. He's been great at that edge position. You need him involved as well. And listen, I know Davis Warren's stats did not pop off the page last week, but I liked a lot of what he did last week. Some of the throws he was making, they just looked crisp. He was in rhythm. And if they can have that, a little bit of that, mix in Alex Orji and some of the run pass options, some of the, the stuff on the ground, then they can compete with anybody, man. So I really hope that they can continue that this week. But you got to have it, man. Colston Loveland got to show up. And your defensive line has to show up as well.
My man Weezy D313 said hoping for a 5 to 7 yard catch is crazy. It's been like that with Alex Orji, bro.
Yeah.
And with the game plan.
Yeah.
Weezy D313, man, you're having yourself a day. JB Smooth, do you agree with that key to the game?
Yeah, everyone on this team needs to play at an NFL top level. I'm just saying this right now. Look, Davis Warren, I know you're going to try and get as many out there as you can, especially the Colston Loveland. But don't forget that this Oregon team is built on speed. They are going to be on you every second as soon as you get that ball out. So every person on this Michigan team needs to be playing at a top NFL level.
Well, JB, I think there's only some that can.
Yep.
To be fair to what you said, and I made the key, so I obviously agree. When you look at Oregon's schedule, there are only 2 teams that they face that can actually match them when it terms of NFL talent, not position for position, just overall talent. Those of course are Ohio State and Michigan, and you saw it last week. And I know Oregon's a completely different animal from Michigan State. You saw Mason Graham and Kenneth Grant both with drive-killing TFLs. You saw Colston Loveland play like the Mackey Award winner that he's going to be, 2 receiving touchdowns. You saw Josiah Stewart with probably the play of the game, that sack fumble. You saw Jayshon Barham lead the team in solo tackles. NFL players did NFL player things last week, and that is the only chance, I mean, not the only chance, but one of the big keys as to Michigan winning, because obviously they can't touch Oregon when it comes to quarterback or coach, but can Mason Graham wreck a game? Yes, he can. Can Kenneth Grant wreck a game? Yes, he can. Can Will Johnson wreck a game? At least shut down half the field or get a pick 6? Yes, he can. Can Colston Loveland be the best skill position player on the field? Yes, he can. In the 2025 draft, I promise you, you will see 4 Wolverines picked before you see a duck, which makes the season all the more frustrating overall, but it's one of the reasons why Michigan can maybe steal one. More on my prediction later, but my third key to the game, this actually has nothing to do with football.
You're making me a little bit more confident, man, because
Don't get too confident.
Yeah, my confidence was on like maybe 1%. You've helped move me into the 10, 11, 12% range here so far, but it's still,
good job, Sam.
It's still pretty low. But I at least see a path. I see a path.
Anything I can do. And question 3, or key 3, Oregon traveling 3 time zones. First year with the expanded Big Ten.
It can make a difference.
Man.
That has hurt a lot of teams.
We have seen this. That's what I was going to say. We've seen this make a difference. I'm sitting here like, okay, logically, I feel like I'm just supposed to say Michigan's about to get washed. And I love Michigan football. But there are some things that they have that work to their advantage, and playing in a big house is one of those things, especially when your opponent is having to travel from the West Coast. And they're coming here to Michigan. It's going to be a little bit chilly, too, that football kind of air, weather in the air as well. So it's like, you know what? It's got to be a factor, right?
Hey, KG?
I want to say it is. Because, thank God this game isn't at Oregon, and this would be damn near a guaranteed auto dub for them. But
G, maybe Oregon will be sleepy.
We said the same thing about USC as well, and while we did kind of, we had control of that game somewhat towards the end of that game, it was bad. So I want to say that it'll make a difference. It could make a difference, but Oregon is a well-oiled machine. They're well coached, so I don't know how much of a difference it'll make, especially in terms of winning the game or not.
JB?
We have seen this play a factor in a lot of these games where these West Coast teams are coming over here, and they were a bit sluggish, maybe in like the first quarter and a half a little bit, but other than that, they still start to pick up and gain momentum as well too. And this game is at 3:30, so this would kind of be like a 1 o'clock game if Oregon had one over there for them. So
12:30.
I think they should be fine. So Oregon's still going to dominate this game.
That's, you know what? I can't be mad at you for that. I think it does make a factor. It might not be the factor that swings the game, but you just look at how it's worked out this season. USC had to travel to Minnesota, Michigan, and Maryland. I think USC is definitively better than Maryland and Minnesota at least. USC lost all of those games. Washington had to travel to Iowa, lost 40-16. Michigan had to travel to Washington, got beat. You look at even Ohio State going to Oregon, and I get it, that's different because they're just 2 Titans this year, but I think Ohio State is probably better, and they almost were that day, but they had to travel to Oregon. Those are just a couple examples. So it does make a factor. Will it be the difference in this game? I don't know, but I think it makes a little bit of a factor.
Yeah, because when I'm looking at the game, where does everybody's unrest lie with University of Michigan? Because they have talent all over this roster. High-level talent that's going to be taken at the top of this draft. And it's like when I look at this quarterback room, sometimes I do wonder the confidence that I had coming into the season is because I believe that they had something figured out with the quarterback room. I thought I didn't believe that we were going to get some world-beating quarterback that was going to come in here and outperform or outdo what we saw J.J. McCarthy do. But then we didn't even get half or even barely a quarter of that. You know what I mean? And so it's like, goodness gracious, if they fix the quarterback situation, are we viewing Michigan in a completely different light? Because there were a lot of people who didn't believe that they could have the quarterback performances that they had against Michigan State.
Ooh, you're segueing and you don't even know it. Ooh. Number 4 key, build off of what you did last week. Interpret that as you may.
I'm going to start right there. I had no idea. We talked about, this has been the thing since we realized, KG, Flannel, JB, that Michigan's quarterback situation is a disaster. We also recognize that we don't know if these quarterbacks are being put in their best position by the coaches. Last week was one where I'm just like, I was a little hesitant to say, is this Jerome Moore's best coaching job? But realistically, across the board, at least with what they did with those quarterbacks, it definitely was. The game calling looked better. You want to see them improve upon that. And KG, I'm gonna throw it over to you now because I know you said some good things about
Davis
Warren as well earlier, about him looking a little bit more composed, a little bit more sharp, a little bit more understanding of what this offense is calling for from him.
Yeah, the offense has a pulse, and that's something that we didn't think we would see this year. Just flat out, they took some chances. I got to give Kirk Campbell credit. The way they called the game, they had some trick plays in there. They aired the ball out a little bit. And they mixed in Alex Orji as well. And if it takes 2 quarterbacks to get this thing done, then that's what you got to do. But ultimately, if you limit turnovers, and that's going to be a big key, you limit turnovers and you control the ground game. That's their best shot at winning any ball game. You have to control the ground game. The offensive line has been playing pretty well, I would say. If they can do that, then they, like I said, they have a shot against anybody, but only if they are able to do that.
JB.
I mean, did you really start building anything from last week's game? Let's be honest. You beat a subpar Michigan State team.
No, don't go calling your team subpar. Don't go calling your team subpar.
Before the game, I was told that
Neil
Sparty was going to run roughshod over Michigan.
Right.
I was told. I was still riding with him, but let's be honest. Aiden Childs is a turnover machine. Davis Warren finally figured out that he can be a competent quarterback, and Alex Orji just figured out that, hey, you know what? I'm better at the running back position than the QB. Like, let's be real. Did you start building on anything? Really?
No, it's better than what the fuck we had.
I was thinking in my room like Davis Warren, 125 yards. I was so cheesing. It was like, wow, a stress-free 125 yards. But it's still just 125 yards.
JB, I get what you're saying. Oregon is a completely different animal. I'm not trying to pretend that they're not. However, if you're going to beat them, which is a very tall task, you are going to have to build off of what you did last week. Last week was your most competent performance in the quarterback room when you combine Davis Warren and Alex Orji. It was the best coached game, at least this season, from Sharon Moore. They didn't commit any turnovers. They didn't commit any penalties. They made second half adjustments. Kirk Campbell showed some creativity. And I'm not saying you can just transfer what you did against Michigan State to Oregon, but you have to. I think they realize that they have their best chance to win with Davis Warren and Alex Orji just rotating in and out. Sharon Moore found some things. He was having himself not a great year. He had his best game. I'm not saying it's going to be enough to win. I'm just saying you've got something to build on. Although, will it translate against Oregon? Who knows? All right, and my 5th key, and I think this one is actually pretty obvious, but I don't want to sully the jury. Production from running backs.
Gotta have it.
Gotta have it. I love the way you put that. I want to sully the jury.
Will Donovan Edwards show up?
Nah, but I'll go real quick. But
go ahead, brother.
Yeah, Alex Orji can't be your leading rusher. Let's start with that.
He needs to be.
I want him to still have 40, 50, 60 yards.
No, absolutely.
But he can't be.
He needs to be in there. But you have a Khalil Mullins who's been overall pretty good this year. You have Donnie Edwards, who has not been so great this year, but has the ability to be pretty good. You need both of them to show up, and last week they did not. They were virtually like nobody's on the ground, and Alex Orji, he led the way, and that was cool. You were able to utilize him, but it's going to take all 3 of them in order for Michigan to have any type of chance in this game.
All of them. That they're going to have to be the workhorses for this team, especially if you want to be able to make sure that you're providing any type of timing and spacing, and not just heat all the time for Davis Warren as your quarterback. Give him some comfortable looks back there in the backfield to give yourself a chance to win, because a lot of us believe that this is going to, or at least I know you didn't share a prediction yet. I believe that this is one of them games where you can look at Michigan losing like 31-14. Going the other way. I really do. I feel like this could be one of those games where it's big, but hearing a lot of these keys that they have, it kind of narrows things down to, obviously what this defense can do to try and contain the speed of Oregon, which is going to be a tall task. But they got some special players that can rise to that occasion. And that's where this thing got boiled down to. How is Sharon Moore going to manage this game plan? I know people say, well, they were playing a crappy Spartan team. I don't care. You're lining up this week against Oregon. I don't, you know what I mean? What are we doing? We're stepping out there and we're just like, oh, we suck again. This is not the water boy, man. I want to see this team go out there with pride. I want to see this team go out there and stand on business as it relates to the NFL players. You got players that know they're looking ahead to millions of dollars that they're going to make in plays. I want to see that out there on the field. Even if they lose, I just want to make sure this squad is going out there and playing all out. And the more that I listen to these keys of victory, the more I'm like, all right, Sharon Moore, give your quarterbacks an opportunity to really give this team a chance.
Well, and to be fair, Sharon Moore didn't silence allegations. Don't get me wrong, but he coached a good game, albeit against what JB is now referring to as a team that could never win anyway. But JB, production from the running back position, is that a key to a Michigan win?
It's definitely a key that could help him. Just tell Donovan Edwards right now, you know what, just take this game off. Just let Lil Mullins and Alice Orgy handle the running back spots from now on. But other than that, yeah, this could help them out.
Do you know what also is a trademark of Donovan Edwards? Big time games and big time moments. So, But yes, this absolutely is a key. Did you know that last week against Michigan State, Khalil Mullings and Donovan Edwards combined for 22 carries for 42 yards? Yeah. If they do that again, it won't be 31-14. It'll be
60,
like 38-7 or something like that. I don't think Michigan will do that again, but the point is that abso-freaking-lutely you need a better game out of both of your running backs and better run blocking up front. But since we kind of blew past the break, let's do our predictions, go to break, and then do what's trending. So
I don't want to predict.
Cody was saying just real quick too, you guys realize Oregon has a subpar rushing defense, right?
I mean, that's where you got to hit them.
Yeah.
You have no choice. That's the only way. Not the only way. I've got keys, but you're going to have to damn near play a perfect game.
And for me, you know what? It's like, look, I see Cody as well. Michigan will go for 200 on the ground. Okay. If they do that, then we're not talking about the 31-14. Right now, what we've seen from the running backs is where I'm like, if they repeat what they did against the Spartans, I don't know how this is not a 31-14 game going the other way, but
all right,
they get 200. Let's rock.
Let's. Do you want me to go first or last when it comes to predictions of Michigan?
I don't want to go at all.
I'll go first if you want me to.
Go ahead, JB. You get off.
I'll go first and get it off my chest right in here. Oregon 42, Michigan 17.
All right.
Oh my
Jesus
God.
Christ. Okay. It sound a little salty from last week, JB.
All right, let's counterclockwise this because since JB went first. KG.
Do I got to, man?
Yes.
God damn it.
Yes, you do.
It's tough for me to pick Michigan to win this game. I'm just being real. But it is at the big house. 24-16 Oregon.
You're close to me. I'm at 27-17. Some of the things that you said today, it helped me be like, you know what? I feel like Michigan can make this a better game than maybe a lot of people are realizing. But I still believe it's going to be one in which Oregon shows why they are the number one team in the country and why Michigan is no longer ranked.
Sure, and I have to be true to my principles.
Hey, hold on. Don Beats, y'all only hope is Jesus Christ coming back before kickoff. Damn, Don.
Whoa.
And the 5 keys that I mentioned, because I think they're relevant. But
damn, Don.
I have to stay true to my principles here, because what did I say before I said anything praising the players and the coaches on the Monday show following Michigan's win? I said this doesn't mean Michigan is good. So in this game, and it pains me to do it, I got Oregon 31, Michigan 24. And I think the biggest difference is that when we talk about the quarterback disparity between Michigan and Oregon and the coaching disparity, it's the Atlantic Ocean still, despite what they all showed against Michigan State. Dan Lanning and Dylan Gabriel, that's about as good as you're going to find in college football right now. Oregon still wins this game, but Michigan covers.
Hey, you know what? I like that a lot. Did all of us pick them to cover?
JB said
I did not.
What, 14
Right,
and a half,
not.
except for JB.
Yeah.
I do believe they have opportunity to cover in this game. But like we said, the running game is there. How you manage these quarterbacks. If those two things are there, I believe we're talking about this Michigan team in a much different light. If it was there to start the season.
Absolutely. And now for something probably more fun for all of us. Let's pick the Lions-Packers.
Yes.
Let's go in the same order as we did for the Michigan segment. JB, Lions-Packers, who do you got? Score.
I definitely think it'll be a good game. It'll be a little close towards the end, but I'm still taking the Lions on this one. I will say Lions 27, Packers 21.
Ooh. KG?
If you're Lions, you cannot start slow in this game. You need to come out early and make a statement against this Packer team. Take them out of it early. Take the crowd out of it early. Like I said, get Jordan Love on the ground as much as you can. I was thinking about the Viking game when I said 4 sacks. They had 4 sacks in the Viking game, only 1 last week. But even without Aiden, you can still get to Jordan Love, but pressuring him is not going to be enough. So let me get 30-19 Lions.
All right.
I bet 31-17, man.
Yeah.
I feel like the Lions are going to force them into multiple field goals this game, where this is going to be one where if they were scoring touchdowns, it will be a shootout. But because of the Lions' defense, it's going to show up stout, especially in the red zone, and Kirby Joseph is going to get a takeaway or two. I do believe that they're going to turn this into a much more pedestrian-looking game for the Packers and win this one, and one that looks like it's going away.
Ooh, I like it.
Can I change mine?
Yeah.
Just by a little bit, 35-21.
Okay.
I like where your guys' heads are at. However, I do think it's going to be a shootout. But I ultimately think it's going to be the perfect win for the Lions on a multitude of levels. I've got the Lions 34 and the Packers 31. Level 1, you further your stranglehold on this division because this game is for the division lead. If the Packers win, they have it. They've got the tiebreaker, and that would make them 7-2. And if the Lions win it, I think it's damn near an auto that they finish with the division title and ultimately the number 1 seed. And also on level 2, you start 3-0 without Aiden Hutchinson. That would be an unbelievable accomplishment.
Over the Packers too.
Yeah, something that I wasn't so sure that they could do. But level 3, you're going to win the game, but you're also going to make it further evident that they need one more pass rusher, and Brad Holmes makes that move on the trade deadline day. So it is going to be the most impactful win of the season thus far, even though there's going to be moments where you sweat it out a little bit.
I love that. It's like an inception of wins.
Yes.
You need to win, but you also need to make sure that you show that you need that pass rush.
And don't get me wrong, I would love more than anything like a 31-17 win. I promise you that. I'm just telling you how I think it's going to play out, and I think the Lions still get this game. It would be an unbelievable win. Unbelievable. Is that what's that score I see up there?
47-9 for
47-9.
Mike Reed.
Nothing but blowouts in the chat, man.
Oh, Lord.
Nobody's scared of the Packers, man.
You know what? That's fine. Maybe I'm a hater because I only have them winning by 3, but I'm just telling you what I think. But before we get to what's trending, which everybody is dying to see, I have to tell you about Mark White. Dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White & Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, I said $5,000. Call Mark White & Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them at markwhitesales.com. Again, call Mark White today at 248-290-8242 to make your dreams come true.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids, all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
How do people feel about getting a Planet Fitness membership for $15 a month? How do they like working out in a clean and spacious gym that's filled with equipment for every workout? And how about free fitness training in the judgment-free zone that leaves them feeling energized all day long? Join Planet Fitness today with the free PF app, online or in club, and start getting that big fitness energy for $15 a month.
The most talked about Detroit media by other Detroit media, and we love it. It's the Woodward Sports Network.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
You and I pay our bills. Unlike my opponent, Dave Coulter, I won't take advantage of my job because I work for you. I'm Nick Jonai, and by the way, I do pay my water bills on time, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Nick Jonai for Oakland County.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza has a new limited time offer just in time for this football season. Soroki's is debuting their fresh signature flavored wings. Grab your friends, order a New York style pizza, and add fresh wings for the games this weekend. Try one of their 7 different flavors. Visit their website at sorokis.com.
Hey, let me tell you about the New Holland Brewing Company watch party and post-game show. The watch party kicks off with the heavyweights live at Hayes Socials for every single Detroit Lions game, not just the home ones, home and away. So if you're not going down to the games for the home ones, if you're not one of the rabid Lion fans to get down to the away games, I'm telling you, Hayes Socials is where you want to be at. Woodward sports personalities are there. Other Lions fans are there. The food is great, the drinks are great, and the atmosphere is amazing. All of the best reactions as well to the best plays. Right after you get the post-game show hosted by Stick and Anson. So you get the instant analysis, and we get you involved in the show as well. The phone lines are open, and if you're at Hayes Socials, we got a microphone, we got a camera exactly for the chat family to be involved. So we want to see you guys out there. If you can't be there, then make sure you're tapped in only on Detroit's #1 sports network, Woodward Sports. All of this is brought to you by Tangerine Space Machine, Tulio Local Laundry, 1800 Tequila, Soroki's, man, the Soroki's, and Sabbath Coffee. We are back. What up, though, people? It is Wake Up Woodward, and it's time to spark up Mr. JB Smooth.
Let's do it.
Hey, let's get good.
And now it's time for the most electrifying segment on the internet. Bum, bum, bum. It's What's Trending with JB. Live on Wake Up Woodward.
J Bizzo.
Let's ride.
Hey, what's up, fellas? What's going on?
Look, chilling, man.
Hopefully you guys had a good Halloween yesterday. I know I did as well, too. But you guys, I've got our Halloween costumes planned out for next year. All of us. We got to do this.
What up, though?
It's the NBA 2K60
Oh,
overall.
God.
Oh, God. Man, I hate that fucking fit that they give you, bro. It's like the worst fit ever. Brown shirt and gray fucking sweatpants.
That be for my whole career, though, dog. I'm one of those guys. I have that same shirt and the jeans for everyone.
Nah, G, that's one of the first purchases I made. I got to get up out of that, man. Like, I'm sorry. I can't do the generic 2K shoes.
Come on.
I'm sorry,
We
man.
used to do a show like that one day.
This
my
is
God.
This is why when you buy 2K, you almost got to buy extra VC with the game, man. This how they get you for your pockets, man, because you can't. Come on, bro. I can't be walking around the park like that.
You got to. It's almost like, bro,
Nah,
you're not
G.
buying the game. You already know when you get 2K, it's 2K plus 100K VC.
Yeah, man. It's fucking horrible. I hate the generic fit.
It's no longer just. I remember when the games was like $40. Now them boys are 60 to
Yeah,
70.
they're like
Then you got to get the
60, $70.
VC, so now it's like 150.
You're right.
And they're gonna get my money again.
Yep, tough time.
They already got my money, but
I was avoiding it this year. They'll eventually get mine.
Yeah, everyone is coming for everybody. So just so you know, but yeah,
worst time of the year for gamers.
Hopefully you didn't have to throw any Halloween parties yesterday, but if you did, this is your sign to never do it again.
Oh my gosh. What?
What the fuck?
I'll be honest. I thought this video was starting outside, and I realized they're in someone's home.
This is in someone's house.
What the heck? Somebody literally put somebody through the wall.
They all on meth in that house. Like,
Yeah.
what is, I understand partying, but what the fuck? Like, come on, man. Like, why y'all gotta destroy the fucking
Look at the
property?
walls. Like, what were they doing?
I can't even imagine.
I just hope that's his crib, not his parents' crib.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excommunicating my son if that happens.
Oh my
Project
God.
X
somebody's parents'
looking
house.
aftermath right there.
I'm trying to figure out, like, wait, is the door closed and it's just still a hole through the door?
It's just a hole through the door.
Is that what I'm seeing? Bro, hold on. Like, look at this.
That's
the
upstairs.
door is closed. It's just a hole through the door.
Why
What the
can't we
heck?
just party normally? What happened to just dancing and drinking and smoking?
I can't even do
No,
that
you gotta
to
break
the
stuff,
door,
KG,
bro.
now.
No, that's that shit, man. I ain't gonna single it out, but we
See,
all
y'all
know what
help
this
me
is.
Understand?
Like, why can't we
Somebody.
just party normal? Like,
Chat family, right?
why it's got to be a mosh pit?
Right and wrong answers. How the heck do you do this? Look at the door on the walls. Somebody help me with this. This is wild, Flannel.
Oh my goodness.
So wild.
That literally looks like the aftermath of Project X.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Crazy,
pretty much.
dog.
I know.
Oh, our
didn't know he
Vandalay
had it
said
yet.
that's a Bears fan's house after that game last
Oh.
week.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah.
That's facts.
Like I said, that is rough. Hopefully you didn't have that happen to your house as well too. Hopefully you didn't have this happen to your kid, but just know that don't tell mom what happened.
Oh man. What? Bro, that's the kid?
Oh, it fell out.
Oh! No!
Oh shit.
Oh,
shit.
Bro, no!
My man hit the corner so quick.
Oh my God. I mean,
You gotta strap him in, man. You gotta strap
you
him
talked
in.
about what would happen to your kid if they did that to your house?
Yeah.
This is what my wife would do to me, dog, if this happened.
Hey, this one of the ones you gotta go bribe your kid after that. Hey, McDonald's, ice cream, whatever. Don't tell your mom.
Don't tell your
You
mom,
best
bro,
not.
because
She
I
better
won't
not
even
ever
get
find
I
out
won't
about
even
this.
get the couch, bro. Goodness gracious.
I couldn't even imagine
So-
my girl with foot. What?
So messed up.
She ripped my head off and she found out that happened, man.
Oh, like, I'm wondering like what it was that made him say, "Oh crap," because my man was.
I mean,
He hit the corner quick, man.
Like, bro,
Come
the
on.
baby was like all these, and he was still do.
Oh man, can't be hitting them corners that hard, man.
Almost made me spill my yak, man.
Buckle the kid up, bro. You can't skip steps. Make sure the kid is safely in the
Our
goddamn.
Vandalay Fast and Furious 9. Denver
Oh,
player
my-
got rolled over after he fell out.
God.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man! And finally, I will end what's trending with this.
Chuck Brewer one more.
What's
He
up?
said his wife would break up with him.
Damn.
Jeez.
That's rough, Chuck. That's rough. And finally, I will end what's trending with this. You guys ever just been bored in math class and just start doing random stuff?
Yeah.
Hopefully, it's not
Damn
this
near every
bad.
class. Oh hell no.
Oh my God.
Hell no.
You can do it, bro. You
There's
can
gotta
do
be
it.
a sub in there, bro.
Oh.
There's gotta be a sub in there. Cause why the hell are you able to just stack fucking desks like this?
I feel like I said, oh my god.
I bet he got a failing grade too. He got a
So-
failing grade in school, bro. Why is you doing shit like this?
I mean, life is telling him, bro, you need failure.
Right.
change
retarded,
your
bro.
actions. Do something different with life, bro.
This like the crate challenge, man.
Hey,
For desk. There it is.
Great
Great challenge for
so
desk.
Stupid.
I thought the children were our future. They have
that
not
one.
been
Not
taught
this
well.
one. Not this one.
Oh my god.
Not this one. But that's it for what's trending, you guys. Let's hop into some mailbag.
Oh man, you know what? Great job as always. Any bills we gotta pay, we can just
Yeah, we gotta hit up Dr. Pierce and Salvation Army.
hey, let's do that, and then we'll get into that mailbag segment. Attention, sports fans. So you guys get those mailbag questions in. Don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday on Big The Energy and every Thursday on Ermanni and Edwards, where he's offering top-notch injury advice and all the latest news and updates as it relates to some of the biggest injury news, not just in our local sports, but happening nationally as well. And it's been some really good content. You got to trust, you got to DMAC trust. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
Hey, and of course, have you ever thought about volunteering but don't know where to start? Start with the Salvation Army's Red Kettle campaign. Visit registertoring.com to sign up for shifts. You'll have an option to choose a 2-hour session at a physical Red Kettle site or participate in a virtual bell ringing shift to raise funds from the comfort of your own home. Virtual bell ringers can sign up and begin raising funds at any time. Traditional bell ringing begins on Friday, November 7 and runs through Christmas Eve, excluding Thanksgiving and Sundays. To sign up for volunteer shifts, visit registertoring.com.
Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer, is kicking off the game with the best prices on all cars, trucks, and SUVs, like this 2024 Silverado for just $296 a month, or this 2025 Equinox for as low as $371 a month. Our locations in Novi, Highland, New Hudson, Livonia, and Lansing means we have the perfect Chevy right in your backyard. Get the home team advantage every day at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports.
Since 1996, Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide a fast, convenient, and first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you. Feldman Chevrolet, Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer.
Hey, and we are back. It is time for the Wake Up Woodward Mailbag segment presented by the Feldman Automotive Group. Eric Diedrich, I see your $5 super chat, and I responded to you from Woodward Pistons account in the chat. So definitely, if you could, send me that email, and we'll definitely get a look on it for you. But I see a Feldman Mailbag question here right away. I think it's appropriate because we do got a lot of people who watch this show that are fans of Michigan State. Don Beats. Shout out to Don Beats. I think that's one of your peoples as well, right, KG?
Yeah, shout out Don.
Shout out to Don Beats. He's saying, Sam, do you have 5 keys for MSU to beat Indiana, or did I miss that segment?
I don't have 5 keys, but I think Michigan State can win if Curtis Rourke is out. I think that's could potentially change everything. So that to me is the difference in the game.
And I hate to be a Neil Rule. Tell your quarterback to stop turning over the fucking ball.
That's fair.
That would definitely be my key as well too. Aiden Childs, chill out on these interceptions, bro.
Fumbles too.
Fumbles as well too. Look, if it's not there on your first read, please do not try to throw it into double coverage. Please don't.
Hey, listen, Ed O'Neill, hey, one of the OGs and one of those everyday supporters. Shout out to him. Feldman Mailbag, are we in agreement that after 2 years of Brad neglecting an edge in the draft, he must draft one and one early this upcoming year?
I don't want to say must, but as close as must as I possibly could. If Brad Holmes weren't somebody who has this track record, I would be pounding the table for one. And I think that he'll get one because an Aiden Hutchinson injury, I think that shocks everybody because he was so durable too. And yeah, sometimes that's what it takes.
Yep. I definitely hope that something happens. Nicholas Duncan believes that there's going to be breaking news on Big D about Myles Garrett today. Hey, you know what? Let's put that mojo up into the air. That would be very, very awesome. But BigCon 51. Okay, let me read through this one first. All right. I have a feeling Michigan is going to pull this one out. #1 has been a curse this year. Something's going to happen. Roast me if it don't.
I mean, I'm not going to roast you. I have Michigan only losing by 7, and that's something. I actually know what that something could be. What about a Will Johnson pick 6? Dylan Gabriel early in the season was turning the ball over at a pretty high rate, although he's cleaned that the F up, and he's been amazing lately.
Let me ask you this. Will we see turnover buffs this week?
Yes.
Let's go.
Yes.
Let's go. Hey, I see you in the chat, Yashawn Judah. He says, Feldman Mailbag, do you think the Pistons can still a win against the Knicks tonight, especially given the fact that the Knicks stole a win against the Pistons? Now, I know that they're loaded, but I do not care. Any team that has Cat, I just go and punch them in the mouth, please. I understand what the odds are, but this Detroit Pistons team, they got some talent on there. And I'm hoping that they have, coming back home, the gumption to just say, you know what, let's play to our fullest abilities. I believe they have enough to pull out a dub.
They can definitely win. I don't know if I would predict it, gun to my head, but I think it's going to be within 10 points either way.
Yeah, because Chuck Brewer's asking as well, do the Pistons make it 2 in a row?
I hope.
I would probably predict no, but I'd probably predict about a 6-point loss. But that can... a lot of things can sway an NBA game.
Yeah, and that's why I'm hoping that the vets are on point in the fourth quarter.
Yeah.
I believe if they're good to go, and if we find a way defensively to step up in the middle of the paint, those are going to be your keys to victory right there for the Detroit Pistons. They have to play physical in that paint on both sides of the court. Whatever Isaiah Stewart was on in that last game, bottle that up, put that on film, put it on repeat for the rest of the Pistons big.
Yeah, that's not going to be enough, though. Jalen Duren, where you at?
That's what I'm saying. We're going to need Jalen Duren to be that.
Yeah, absolutely. Jalen Duren got to step up in this game. Look, the Knicks are 2-2, so it's not like you can't beat them, but they have a lot of weapons. We all know that. Cat just went for 44 the other night. You gotta be good on the perimeter, but you cannot give up the paint like that.
I think Cat could murder Duren. I hate to say it. I
don't based off what we see.
I know.
I can't even put it past you.
Yeah, David Kabul, I see you. I didn't know people wanted Pistons talk. Like all the mailbag questions coming in for Pistons.
Hey. No, they don't watch NBA. No, we don't care about the Pistons. Why y'all talk the Pistons?
I'm sure I'll see like 2 or 3 more. I'm just like, all right, David Kabul.
The stream crash, we all talk Pistons.
That's why I'm glad that we give it its proper place, because we see that there are Pistons fans out there. And we're hoping that more and more of them, and just Detroit sports fans in general, understand you got a safe place.
This is one of our 4, man. We gonna cover the Pistons, flat out.
Definitely. And they treat us, they're nice. David Kabul, they're nice to us.
All right, shout out to Pistons, man.
Shout out to the Pistons.
We love the Pistons over here.
Yeah, we still love y'all.
Mailbag, no Pistons talk. What up with that? I was trying to see what's up with Bobby Clinton. Bobby Clinton's dealing with an injury that they would rather have right.
Yeah.
While he's so early in his career, so young, and it's still a season in which they haven't stated we're ready to go out there and make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
They've stated, look, we want our guys to battle, we want them to play. And so with a player that you signed for 4 years as an undrafted free agent, you want to make sure that he is right early in his career, early in his development. Because would he have helped them right now?
Absolutely.
Yes.
That bench needs all the help it can get.
We played the audio. Jamal McMillan, the Motor City Cruise head coach, and he's also an assistant coach for the Pistons, one of the guys that I see at the practices and such, and get the opportunity sometimes to dap him up and say what up. We got to talk to him. It was just like, he was excited about Ron Holland, but he was just like, Bobby Clement is a baller in every sense of the effing word. And he used the F word. And it was just right on the court, summer league, sitting right there while they're warming up. And it was just like, I can't wait. And then you saw everything that he has to offer. Yeah. And I'm just like, yo, he would have.
Can shoot, can pass a little bit, not afraid to get in the paint. They can use that right now because that bench need all the help it can get.
Does Asar, and this is from Mitten May, Feldman Mailbag, does Asar start whenever he is cleared to play?
No. He's not going to start.
Do you think so?
Really?
I feel dirty saying I don't think he's going to start. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay.
It feels bad saying it because,
I mean, just be real. He's a great defender, but he has no offense, man. And as a wing in this league, defending is great, but you got to be able to score the basketball. Now, I do like the idea of him coming off the bench, and you have Ron Holland and Asar Thompson, kind of like a def squad on defense lineup coming off the bench, but like I said, the offense has to improve with Asar.
Yeah, it definitely does. And that's where a little bit of my hesitation comes from. Is J.B. Bickerstaff a guy who can better scheme to Asar Thompson's skill sets better than Monty did? Because we know last season, we don't know how much scheming or attention to detail or care was there. So that's why I'm just like, man, what a year. You got this kind of generational type talent when you look at Asar as it relates to the hops, the ability to play inside and outside, but no development here. It's just like, goodness gracious, man.
Yep.
Goodness gracious. What is coming through right now? Oh, trade proposals and such. I see it. But, hey, let me see if there's one more. I thought I saw a couple more. I want to be able to get JB and KG some love. There was one addressed to you all earlier as it relates to, I think it was TNA. That there was an event that just popped off?
Yeah, we'll be sharing some of that like footage tomorrow. I got a lot of footage from that last 2 nights, so we got to break it down or whatever. But we'll share some of that tomorrow.
Yep, and John F. and Lord, Feldman Mailbag, KG and JB, what's your reaction of Rhea Ripley injury that happened on NXT?
It's a staged injury. They're trying to draw out the Rhea Liv feud until WrestleMania. Do I necessarily agree with that? No, because I think that rivalry is kind of getting a little stale at this point. But I mean, Rhea's gonna win the title back. I think that's a known fact. She's so over with the crowd and, you know, everything that she's done. She's probably the best women's wrestler on their roster. So she's going to get the title back. Don't necessarily agree with, you know, it being stretched to Mania, but expect her back by the Royal Rumble, and she'll probably win the Royal Rumble.
That's exactly what I was thinking as well, too. Like, why are we stretching this out so much just for WrestleMania? I know Charlotte Flair is on her way back as well, too. I think she's going to play a factor in some of this stuff as well, too. But why are we stretching this out to WrestleMania? It's not needed. I'm sorry.
I don't want to see Charlotte Flair back. She pop up title match instantly. Like, come on now. And no disrespect to her. She's a great talent. Always has been, but I'm good on her.
You know what? I think we'll let that be a mailbag. There's a couple more in here, too, that maybe we'll start to make some segments. I didn't know that there was as much interest in the Pistons. We're always going to cover them, but hey, shout out to you guys for being real ones with your sports teams and proving that when they do get back, you guys weren't the bandwagons. How many people were on the ground level of the Detroit Lions? You know what I mean? How many people on the ground level of the Tigers? Or did they just get on the bandwagon later? You know what I mean? How many are going to be on the ground level of the Red Wings? Are they going to jump on later? So that's why I'm glad that right here on Wake Up Woodward, we're going to make sure that we give the proper attention to all four of our sports teams, and as they do better, hey, they earn a little bit more attention as well.
Yeah.
What up,
hey,
brother?
real quick, Eric Moy, Rhea is hurt for real. No, she's not, bro. You think they broke her orbital bone on television and they not get suspended or nothing? Like, come on, bro. It's not a real injury this time around. It just is what it is. She'll be back by the Royal Rumble. Watch. That's January.
Hey, I'm telling y'all, man, listen to these guys. These guys get into these events credentialed, man. So it's like, I can't wait to see where your content goes from here and how you guys cover all of the different fighting, from boxing, extreme sports, martial arts, mixed martial arts, and the wrestling as well. So dope content. I can't wait till you guys break down the event next week.
Yeah, big facts.
Hey, is that a show?
Yep.
What the hell?
What up, though?
Can I just say this? Like, I know the show's ending real quick, and apparently this trade just went off on Get Take of Mike Tannenbaum mentioning this. The Detroit Lions get Myles Garrett, and we give the Cleveland Browns 3 first-round picks, a 2026 second-round pick, and Jahmyr Gibbs.
What?
What the fuck?
Who said this?
This is from Mike Tannenbaum.
Come on, dog.
No, just to make sure his name is out there for that ridiculous.
Like, why? What?
3 first-rounders and Gibbs?
SMD. Anyway.
What the fuck? Who thinks
I
of
don't know
this?
why, but I feel like I forget the movie. I don't know if it was Click when my man was like, what Hasselhoff was like, bro, feels like I'm eating a crab sandwich. It's like, that's what whatever that is, that's what that makes me feel like right now.
We're trying to win the Super Bowl this year and you give up Gibbs? You don't take from your offense. You take from your picks.
He's not a luxury. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, he's a weapon.
Not. We talked about the last couple of games. Monty rushed for under 35 yards both times, and Gibbs rushed for over 100. Gibbs is one of the best backs in the NFL. Thank you.
That is true. Shout out to Easy. I see him getting it out
We
there.
don't even acknowledge no shit.
And I want Myles Garrett more than just about anything, but that trade, absolutely not.
My man said this on TV, JB.
He said this on Get Up, and the rest of the hosts around him couldn't believe what he was saying, so they literally just got up and left.
Nice. Congratulations to those.
Thank you. There are people on that show who definitely have some aspect of intellect. That's wild, bro. All right, let's get this thing broken down. That's what I'm saying. Like, Terrell Lamar, dog, is smoking crack.
Yeah.
Chuck Brewer, he is seriously on drugs.
Who is on crack?
I'm just looking at all this type of stuff, man. People are just like, yeah, this is some trash. So let's break this down. Shout out to our brother Matthew Broder, intern. Oh, it's November 1st. Mr. Chase for right now. It's home Chase. That dude, Justin. And you know what? This elite, wonderful, stupendous, magnificent, great, better than the rest. I'm talking about you x-ray their chest. You see some dogs. Everybody out here, they got their eyes for the backup quarterbacks, and that's because they don't quite measure up to the best of the best. These are some starters. These are some elites. When I'm talking about Jared Goff, I'm talking about these guys right here in the sound booth. Detroit's #1 draft pick. That is KG, a.k.a. Black Hollywood. What up, though, brother?
Subpar.
Subpar?
You could do better.
Wow.
Nah, it's all good, man. Hey, shout out to my team, man. We did it, man. This was a tough week, but we got through. Shout out to the chat. We appreciate all the support, man. Even the hate. We appreciate the hate, too. Keep hating on us, bro. And we going to keep succeeding, bro. It just is what it is. But, Hey,
Fired up.
Hey, have a great weekend. Go Lions. Go Pistons. Go Blue, man. What are we talking about, man? Let's go.
Hey, I like that. Dante 151-499. What is the song at the beginning of Mailbag? Please tell me.
I gotta look at the description. It's one of those ones that we got from Spinny, so I gotta figure out who's all the artists on it. But
that's what's up.
Yeah,
that's what's up. Woodward Sports is MVP in the TD booth because it's a Friday show. Thank you for everything you do in the TD booth, JB Smooth.
Man, I appreciate the hell out of you guys, especially you chat members as well too, for sticking with us through this rough week that we've been having right now. Mike Tannenbaum, stay off the weed, man.
Stay off.
Everyone have a safe weekend and also enjoy that extra hour of drinking on Saturday as well, too.
Hey. Didn't even think about that.
Shout out to Terrell Lamar. He says that hate builds champions. And I see our brother Broder in the chat as well. Flannel Sam, the vet of the squad, the vet of the network, the more things change, the more Flannel Sam stays the same.
That's a fact.
Red Wings correspondent and just all things sports knower. Great show today, brother.
I was gonna say, I know after one day you probably dismissed it as he's just talking. Do you believe I'm a changed man now?
I do.
I turned over.
I'm feeling the vibes.
My man was in here like, I definitely could see Michigan losing, but these are the keys to victory.
No, even when people say shit he don't agree with, he been better, bro. I'm proud of you, Sam. I'm feeling the vibes.
Personal growth over
newly.
I'm feeling the vibes, man.
I love it. I love this guy. I love this crew. I love you, chat family. It's your boy Brandon Den, aka Detroit Kool-Aid, your credential Pistons reporter and writer for the network, and just all things lover of all things Detroit, Michigan, this great state, Michigan, like University of Michigan too. All Detroit sports, man. I love this stuff, and most importantly, the WUW Crew.
Oh yeah.
Hey, let's rock. You guys have a blessed day. Have a good one. Go Lions. Go Michigan. For you Sparty fans, go Sparty out there, man.
Ooh.
And go Pistons. Go Red Wings. Let's go.